Okay, cool. Amazing. I'm going to try to, Harrison, I'm going to add you right now. Let me just figure out, I'm going to try to get through all this tech stuff. Especially, Harrison, I'm glad that you could join because I do want to hear your perspective on things from the InfoWars standpoint. Okay, so I just want to start by recapping everything that happened with Fort Huachuca. I think that that's, sorry, I'm going to add two more people here. Diligent, I'm going to add you. Nice to meet you. Add us here. Myron, I'm going to go ahead and add you. I'm going to add Ryan here. Okay, just especially Harrison. And I'll say,
Hi,
private as
Candace.
a misinformation campaign. A lot of people that are chasing rabbits has nothing to do with what we discussed on the show. And I do think it's important for people to also have the clarity of how quickly this all unfolded. So I did create this little timeline, which I just jotted down because if I make one mistake, then the internet jumps down my throat. It's weird. When you hear how this all transpired, you're going to recognize that it all happened very quickly and very aggressively. So,
All right, so this is somewhat secret live stream. It was on X. She usually goes live on YouTube, and she decided to go live on X. I'm not saying it was a secret, but a lot of people didn't know about this. Like, folks was letting me know like last night, but I was in the middle of something. The Rams lost. I was looking at the Rams game last night, so I missed all of it. So we're gonna go over it. It's an hour and a half long. We're gonna skip through some things, but if anybody was on that live and you want me to touch on a specific thing that she brought up, you're welcome to either come up or let me know. Just drop a super chat and let me know what you want me to touch on involving this, because I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I want to play a lot of it because it flowed very well. And I think it's entertaining and helpful, and it adds a lot of clarity and everything that we were thinking and assuming. So one of the things that she said that was an eye opener to me was that the Mitch guy never got any money. I was like, oh, okay. If the Mitch guy never got any money, I can't look at him as this scammer that I thought scammed her and her audience. So yeah, it's a lot of different things that she kind of like cleared up. So yeah. And somebody said, I thought you said Mitch was this and that. I said, I'm sharing information with everybody. I didn't even really have too much of an opinion about Mitch because I don't know the dude. But I personally have a huge problem with women blankers. That's it. So let's keep going. I just wanted to share that. I didn't have a specific vendetta against this Mitch dude. I just have a problem with women blankers. That's it.
I have told the story on my podcast. I hate that. This is just the reality of how it happened. Okay. So it was a holy day of obligation, and I did my podcast. Obviously, we do not normally go to mass in the evenings on a Monday. I think it was Monday. I think it was Monday the 8th. And we went. I literally jumped off air my podcast, ran to mass. And for whatever reason, maybe because it was just like later in the day, I didn't do my usual prayer, meaning that I normally start my prayers with gratitude, what I'm grateful for, praying for everyone in the family. And this time,
It wasn't a secret live stream. It was just a live stream that wasn't on YouTube. So a lot of her audience did not see it. It wasn't secret.
for whatever reason, I just went with just basically pleading for a missing piece and saying, essentially that everyone recognizes that there is something very wrong with this Charlie Kirk story.
So right now she's talking about Mitch, and she said a prayer before Mitch or somebody sent her this email.
But I just feel like there's like a small piece of this thing missing. And I was just deeply praying for a missing piece. I just want you guys to know that was truly the backstory. I then go home after mass, I sit in my bed, and I open my laptop, and there are literally 50,000 emails in my tips box. That's the old box. That's not even more tips. That's the old inbox. And one just pops in, and it's from a woman, and she just writes, I really think that you should call my friend Mitch. He has a story that you're going to want to hear. Okay. I never just, and someone drops a number, randomly call them. Obviously, I usually email back and I'll say, please give me some indication of this or that. I don't know what came over me, but I was like, ha, would this be an answered prayer? And I pick up the phone and I call Mitch. And he's kind of startled. I don't think he was just maybe with this friend. And he's like, I can't believe I'm speaking to Candace Owens. And he then proceeds to tell me the story of how he was at Fort Huachuca Air Base dealing with an issue that happened 35 years ago, when he discovered a cartel tunnel. And he happened to, and I want to be very clear here because this is important, there were only two people that he mentioned to me on the phone, and he felt absolutely certain that he saw them. Okay.
Yeah, somebody said something about Paramount Tactical. Paramount Tactical, I think his name is Gary. He has literally proven that he's getting paid by Turning Point USA, and that's okay. People make decisions for their families, for this and for that. So, Turning Point USA paid Paramount, allegedly paid Paramount Tactical to shield for them. And that's the decision he made. I personally am not mad at him. He just picked a side. We all are picking sides, to be honest with you. Whether his side is the right side or the wrong side, that's between him and his family. But if they gave him enough money to, sit around and say all this dumb shit for Turning Point USA and lie, that's on him.
He said on the evening of the 8th, he saw who he then learned later on was Erika Kirk. He saw her at the Candlewood Inn and Suites on September 8th. She was with a younger guy who looked like he was in special forces. He talks about his watch. And the bigger thing for me was that the next day he said that he saw this meeting that he accidentally stumbled upon, what must have been a very important top brass meeting, essentially.
And somebody said Alex is losing his mind. I'm going to do a separate show about the Alex dude. He is literally losing his mind. I think he's having a nervous breakdown. But we'll talk about that on another live stream because he really is.
Described it as like there were 12 to 13 06s, and you don't see that much unless it's a very important meeting. And he described the meeting in military terms. The way that I understood it was basically, this is like final hands on deck. We're about to go on, and there's going to be a mission. And he stumbled into this building by a long set of circumstances. He was going to get a coffee. He didn't realize that JTF had gotten back together. He struck up a conversation because he recognized the patch of the 10th Mountain Brigade.
All right, so I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because we already know this. I'm trying to get to the real stuff. So let's see. Because this is a long live. I'm not going to talk about the whole thing.
Brian Harpole, because I'm running in my head, okay, obviously the Erika thing could be interesting, but that's on the 8th. Maybe Erika was with Dan Flood. I mean, she has security. It's Fort Huachuca. It's kind of in their, the Phoenix backyard. Maybe she's there for a different reason, picking something up. Her mother's sick. Her mother works in defense. Like, my mindset was just the Brian Harpole thing is the most compelling piece for me because I think he's been acting weird. And obviously, I was not going to just assume that I should have him on the show. Before I went through some basic fact checks, I ran it up to some person that I trust very much, that is in government, that is in the military, asked him to vet the story. I mean, I was basically up all night dealing with this because I was going, oh my gosh, what if this is the answered prayer? And we are about to be able to assert definitively that Brian Harpole was there. So I did those sort of basic checks. And then it was December 9th. And I just told the story of what Mitch had told me. I did not mention Erika's name. That's very important because I did not, again, think that that was necessarily relevant to the meeting that had happened on the 9th. And I
So Questmaster says you can pick a side through bias without vowing to support the other side. I'm forward. Okay, Candace is asking questions and I'm against everyone trying to shut her up. Yes, I understand that. But you have to understand when these men like Tim Pool, the Gary dude, these guys are getting paid a lot of money in order to go after Candace. And I'm going to show a video. I'm going to look for it for a second, where it was a guy on Ten Pool's podcast that literally said it just makes cultural sense to go at Candace Owens because it would make you money in multiple ways. And it's kind of like the logical way to go. So some people are looking at going against Candace as a possible like content strategy. So whether you're getting paid by IHOP or whether you're just doing it in order to get views, I think it's a content strategy that people are using in order to make money because you already know, just like the little Alex dude keeps saying, he's angry because he's no longer the primary conspiracy theorist. We all know the Alex dude has always been the conspiracy theorist. Now, Candace is the number one conspiracy theorist. And I'm using that loosely because of the context. I'm not saying that Candace Owens is a conspiracy theorist, but in this particular Charlie Kirk scenario, he is no longer the number one conspiracy theorist. Candace is. I'm not saying that's what Candace is as a person, but in this context, she is. And he's just mad. And, you know, it is what it is. He's mad that somebody literally took his job. If you was at your job and somebody came in and just took your job, but you were still working there, wouldn't you be mad too? So it is what it is. See, I don't get mad at people for doing all this stuff. They're doing it for the sake of their own whatever. So I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at Erika Kirk because of what she was doing in Romania with those orphans. So certain people I do have somewhat of a vendetta towards. But the Alex dude, he's just mad because you gotta understand the man went broke. He got sued, like he lost everything, and now Balix tones. Yeah, shout out to Coach Colin. Yeah, Coach Colin calls them Balix tones. But that man is just trying to survive, and his way of surviving is going against the person that took his job. It is what it is.
Wanted to speak about Brian Harpole, and I just said it was a blonde girl. Anyways, that's the 9th. On December 10th is the very next day is when Erika sat down with Harrison Faulkner on Fox News, and she addressed conspiracy theorists as sick and said that she wanted them to stop. And then suddenly I'm trending and people are like, well, she's basically saying that you need to stop. And I was like, okay, that's just weird. Then the next day on the 11th is when Barry Weiss used the snippet of the now infamous, stop, just stop, which the TikTokers went very crazy on. And I was like, okay, that is that was specifically obviously about me. It's like Barry Weiss said, the podcaster Candace Owens. And it kind of backfired, I would say, on the internet. And suddenly, the next thing I knew, Erika and I had a date to meet on that Monday. So that was Thursday. That's the stop, just stop snippet. Friday, I had no show. Sunday, I want to tell you this part because this is important. On December 14th, I received a text message from Ian Carroll. I hope he is in this chat. I'd like him to jump in case I get anything wrong here. But the text message was to me and my producer, and he was like, hey, like, I have something for you guys that I need to discuss. It's pretty urgent. When I got around to calling Ian, he told me that basically he had received information from someone. He didn't want to give me the name of the person, and that definitively, like, Brian Harpole was preparing some huge lawsuit against me. And I was like, that's really weird. And I think he said like some big like Texas lawsuit. I don't know but like basically it was like it's a big lawsuit, and like, you're going to want to be careful talking about this. And I was like, okay, well, that just can't be accurate because that's not how lawsuits work. I know about lawsuits. And I said, I think someone's intentionally giving you bad information to try to.
Sorry, I was on mute. The first thing you want to get is a cease and desist. So you're the first person that's going to know whether or not if you're getting sued or not, because you're going to get something saying that we want you to stop. So a lawsuit, especially when it comes to defamatory stuff, it starts with a cease and desist. So it's not going to be a rumor that you're getting sued.
Scare me from talking about the Fort Huachuca thing anymore, because I hadn't yet hosted Mitch to tell a story, but I had indicated that like I might do more with Mitch, or I might pass him off to Ian Carroll. Next thing you know, Ian Carroll's getting a phone call and told that I'm about to get sued for mentioning Brian Harpole. So I thought that was like a little weird, and I basically said to Ian, I think, yeah, intentionally somebody gave you bad information. You first have to start with the cease and desist, and I don't factually know if what Mitch said was wrong. That ends. Monday is when Erica and I obviously had to sit down for 4.5 hours, and Turning Point kind of hosted a Q&A, which I thought was unfair and against the rules, I will say, because we agreed to not speak about anything.
Right here, I find it strange that the little dorks, what's the names, Alex Covid and the little bald head dork dude, remember they said at a certain date they were going to go live and answer all of the questions that were out there. They never went live and did that. Or am I wrong? Did they ever do that? I don't think they did it. So I don't know why they didn't do it, because the questions are still out there that are unanswered. Was her and Candace meeting supposed to be that instead of the live stream? So wait, somebody said nobody watched it. Yeah, Blake Neff. Yeah. So did they do the live stream, or did they decide not to? Does anybody know? Did anybody watch that? I don't watch that stupid shit. But did anybody watch that live stream, or did you notice whether they had it or not?
But that went on. Obviously, on the Tuesday, I came back and oh, actually, let's go back to the meeting with Erica, because this is also relevant. During that meeting, I did not bring up the Fort Huachuca thing, because I, first and foremost, needed to continue vetting various aspects of it. But also, I have Brian Harpole's number. And so I was just going to text Brian Harpole directly. But it is worth saying that during that interview, Erica gave me Brian Harpole's flights and said, like, I know that you mentioned that you thought Brian Harpole was at this interview. Here are his flights. Now, you guys would later see those flights, because Alex Jones then mysteriously has these flights. I took the flights from her. I thought it was interesting because I didn't bring up Fort Huachuca, and I wasn't intending to bring up Fort Huachuca, and I hadn't mentioned Erica on the show. And I looked at them and I said, "Oh, well, this is not an alibi, because the meeting ended at 7:30 a.m. and planes that left Fort Huachuca were back in Texas. Actually, the SAM plane, as we know, went straight to Texas." And I think,
And everybody, make sure to send this video to your group chats. I just went live. Usually I go live, or I scheduled a live for like 2 hours out for YouTube to send it to to people that usually watch my show. So I just went live. So make sure to send this video to your group chats and to the people that are interested in these answers. Because like I said, a lot of people did not know Candace went live last night, even me. So people are just waking up. It was almost New Year's or whatever. Nobody's really thinking about nothing. So send this video to your group chats or the people that you know are interested in this, because it's holidays and nobody's really paying attention. So, and like I said, this is pertinent information to the people that are interested in this, because like I said, this was somewhat of some type of secret live stream that she did last night. So a lot of people don't know.
Brian Harpole's flight left at like 3:42 or something in the afternoon in Texas. So I was like, this does not conflict with the idea that he could have been leaving a meeting at 7:30 a.m. So it's a pretty short flight to Texas. So I said that, and that was it. But I said, but thank you for giving me this, because now I can tell people that I have these flights, and also that he doesn't like yet have an alibi for that morning.
Nicole, thank you so much. Tell everybody I said, hey.
I just wanted to mention that because I feel like that's important. Anyways, obviously, when we went back on air on Tuesday, I recapped I was tired and what just kind of went through kind of the high points or the things that we had discussed. It was a very long meeting. On Wednesday, we broke the story about Charlie's car, and that we actually had exclusive photos of what the inside of the car looked like. On Thursday, I made the decision to have Mitch on my show. And the reason why we made that decision is because we were then working in the background to verify other aspects of his story, and we were able to do that.
Devon says I'm not on X or Instagram, so thank you for doing this. You're welcome. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not even on X. Like I'm on X, but not really on X. So I feel you, because who the hell? I'm sorry, people do be on X, but who the hell be on X? Like I'm sorry. Twitter is just a weird ass place to be on. I be trying to be on there, but it's just a little stupid app. I don't understand X. It's just stupid to me. Even though I'm streaming to X right now, but I'm not on it. I'm just streaming to it because I think the whole app is stupid, but it has its needs and reasons for being on there. But I don't know.
I now felt beyond confident. He had sent me all of his metadata. He had sent me, as you guys already saw, his ID cards, his former passports, his new passports. He even sent me, now I can't say that this Mexican person was in the cartel, but his story was that he was being hunted by the cartel. He certainly had like court documents documenting that a Spanish person had broken into his home and whatever had happened. So I believed him. I believed his story. I knew that he was a Green Beret. Like I told you, I verified that information right away. And I knew that he had stumbled upon this meeting and he thought this is why they were pulling him aside. They may have thought something else, but it was substantially true. Everything he said was substantially true. Whether or not he saw Brian Harpole, I don't really know, right? Now, of course, the decision to have him on, I was aware that I could not say to him. I felt that that would have been super inauthentic if I was like, hey, tell your story, but like, let's not talk about the fact that you think 100% that you saw Erika. Like that would have just been inauthentic. And I feel like people know that, I don't know, you guys would have just like sussed that out in 4 seconds. So I understood obviously that we were opening a can of worms because people were going to be compelled, obviously, by the fact that potentially Erika Kirk was on the base the evening before, if you will, on September 8th. But again, my main thing was Brian Harpole. During that time, as we were vetting his story, he described the congressman. He thought he was pretty certain that it was a congressman of some description.
All right. I did see a little bit of that in a clip. Flower says, I don't see what a live stream is on Turning Point USA's feed, but they did do something with Paramount Tactical. I think that was the first time they had Paramount Tactical on there, and they just sat around babbling about some stupid shit. So yeah, I think I seen that. So I guess that's the only time they really went live and talked about it.
And he described him what he looked like, glasses, about the age, and he said the height was 5'9". So we were sending him photos of congressmen that we thought could fit the bill, just so you guys know this. And he was like, no, 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 no. We sent him Amadei, and he's like, this person looks very familiar. Like this could be the person. Like, have you looked into his story? Like, do you think that this could be the guy? Like this is the first person that really looks like the guy. And he said, is he 5'9"? And I Googled that and it said he was 5'9". I actually think Google's wrong on that. I think his height is wrong. I will say that now. But it's important for you to know that he did not initially come to us with Amadei. We sent him photos. It was just Erika and Brian Harpole. Okay, so we have him on, obviously, and he says both of the names. And what happened thereafter is what I can only describe as like an explosion. I get contacted from somebody who's in DC, and they were very concerned and thought maybe somebody was feeding me bad information. And I was kind of interested in the phone call, not going to name the person, but was basically like, worried about your security and things like that. And I was like, I think we're good. Like, we're just kind of vetting the story.
What up, Tone?
Then on the 20th, and this is very interesting, these two YouTubers, Valhalla and Paramount Tactical, reach out to Mitch. And they're being super nice to him.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Valhalla reaches out to Mitch and is very nice to him. Valhalla, why did you reach out to Mitch? If you think Mitch Snow is so much of a terrible, disgusting piece of dog crap, why did you reach out to him? That's like if I think R. Kelly is the scum of the earth, but I'm still in the background hitting him up like, yo, what's up, big bro? I like your music, big bro. Like, can you come? Oh, yo, that says a lot. And I'm just going to say this. Valhalla has some explaining to do. Because why in the hell? Because I'm not reaching out to nobody that I extremely dislike or disapprove of or hate or whatever you want to call it. That man did 2 multi-hour live streams about Mitch Snow. I think he was live for 2 live streams together. I think they were like 12 hours about Mitch. But then in the background, you're going to be reaching out to him and you nice to him? Bruh. I thought Valhalla was on the right side. Because when I heard Valhalla had a problem with Mitch, I was like, yo, yeah, let's get this Mitch dude out of here. So now Valhalla got me out here looking dumb? Because I'm literally listening to Valhalla because I don't know who Mitch is. Because I trust Valhalla. This is crazy. Uh-oh. Mitch recorded a conversation with either Valhalla or Gary, and Candace is releasing it next week. Oh, shit. So I'm going to tell you this. A lot of y'all got mad at me for being on Valhalla's side. I just want to say this. I don't know none of these people. I don't personally know Candace. I don't personally know Valhalla. I don't personally know Mitch. I don't personally know the George Webb dude. I don't know these people personally. All I can do is see what they are saying and doing from what I can see. I'll do a little research on this person and that person, and then I make an educated, assumption on who the person is then. So I don't know. I might have to owe Mitch an apology. And I have to look at what I said about Valhalla in a positive manner and be like, yo, shout out to Valhalla. I don't know. I need to see what's going on. I don't know these damn people. But I just, I try to be as objective as I can. Damn. Shout out to Christopher Worthington. Careful. The CIA has an enormous budget to throw people off in live stream. I agree, but how do I circumvent that? Are you saying there's a way I can circumvent that or fix that or avoid that, Christopher? So let me know if I need it, if it's something that that I don't know, because I've had like 500 people thrown off my live stream before, and they had to come back on, and I had people getting kicked out of the live stream and everything. So I've seen that happen a couple times. So do you have a way of me circumventing that though? That's my question. Or are we just victims to it?
And they're saying, or one of them said, and I don't want to mix them up, but we have the video of it because Mitch is predisposed to paranoia.
Right there, we have video. Oh, shit. She's saying it.
And he recorded them, and I'm going to drop the conversations. I'm happy to drop them after this live. They're so nice to him. This is on December 20th, and like, you know, they're not questioning whether or not he was in the special forces. They're not saying anything weird, and they're actually saying to him that I may be under foreign influence. And I'm like, okay, these guys are clearly not good guys. Or actually, the 20th is when he first told me that they had reached out to him and wanted him on his podcast. It might have been the 21st that they called him. I'll clear that up. But
wait, so you want a man that you think is a piece of crap, a woman blanker, and all these different things? You want him on your podcast? Huh? Yo, this is crazy.
As like an explosion. I get contacted from somebody who's in DC, and they were very concerned and thought maybe somebody was feeding me bad information. And I was kind of interested in the phone call. Not going to name the person, but was basically like, you know, worried about your security and things like that. And I was like, I think we're.
Make sure to put your comment in the super chat if y'all want me to. I'm trying to read what y'all are saying, but I'm getting it. You know, the more people come in, the faster the chat goes. So if y'all want me to read something that's pertinent, make sure to put it in the super chat, because now there's enough people in here in the chat where I'm not able to read everyone like I was at first.
Good. Like, you know, we're just kind of vetting the story. Then on the 20th, and this is very interesting, these two YouTubers, Valhalla and Paramount Tactical, reach out to Mitch. And they're being super nice to him. And they're saying, or one of them said, and I don't want to mix them up, but we have the video of it because Mitch is predisposed to paranoia. And he recorded them. And I'm going to drop the conversations. I'm happy to drop them after this live. They're so nice to him. This is on December 20th. And like, you know, they're not questioning whether or not he was in the.
So the thing about it is, here's what's crazy. She said that was on December 20th. Let me see when Valhalla initially did his Scorched Earth video. Because my thing is, if you want to run around talking mess about people and exposing people, why are you reaching out to the person if you're trying to expose them? So hold on, let's see. Valhalla VFT podcast. All right, I'm on his channel now. 3 days ago is when he did his dark truth behind Mitch Snow. 3 days ago would have been the 27th. And then he came earlier. Let's see. He talked about it 6 days ago, which would have been on the 23rd. Candace Owens is saying that they reached out to Mitch on the 20th or the 21st. So according to what I'm hearing, Valhalla reached out to Mitch Snow to bring him on their podcast. He probably said no. And then, I don't know, but I can only assume Valhalla got mad and said, okay, if you don't want to come on my podcast, I'm gonna talk shit about you on my podcast instead. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong, but that's what it literally looks like. And that means Valhalla is extremely disingenuous, and all the shit that he was talking about Mitch needs to be thrown out the window. And now I'm looking at I'm looking at Valhalla the same way I look at George Webb, because George Webb was trying to do the same shit. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know who to trust anymore.
Special forces, they're not saying anything weird, and they're actually saying to him that I may be under foreign influence.
No, they are under foreign influence. They are under foreign influence.
And I'm like, okay, these guys are clearly not good guys. Or actually, the 20th is when he first told me that they had reached out to him and wanted him on his podcast. It might have been the 21st that they called him. I'll clear that up. But between the 20th and the 22nd is when they are suddenly calling him, and they're.
See, she said the 20th and 22nd. Valhalla did his live stream on the 27th. 7 days after you try to get or have a conversation with Mitch. Why are you having a conversation with this man if you think he's the scum of the earth? I don't talk to people that I hate and don't like or don't want. What are we doing? And not just talk to him. You want to invite him on your platform and you don't like him? Valhalla, you got some explaining to do, bro. And Valhalla was trying to physically get close to Candace. He wanted to be her security team. I'm not saying Valhalla meant bad towards Candace. I don't know. I have no idea. Because I don't think Valhalla is a bad person. I don't think he would have tried to do something bad to Candace. But if you think Candace is controlled by some foreign entity, why do you want to go out and help her or protect her? If you think Candace is controlled by somebody like IHOP, why do you want to work with her physically, like be her security? It's all starting to sound crazy to me.
Or like, oh, like, yeah, we're just concerned about Candace. Okay, yeah, and you're gonna see in a couple of days he loses his mind and suddenly speaking to like exes and baby mamas like he's Jerry Springer, but
right, exactly. He went to this man and said, hey, don't trust Candace. And when it didn't work, he went to online and started telling us, don't trust Mitch. Yo, this is nuts.
That was the
this is what girls do.
Nature of their phone call. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. I don't know these guys. And then on the 22nd, I get another phone call from Ian Carroll. Oh, he's here. I'm going to add you, Ian. Add a speaker. I get another phone call from Ian Carroll, and this time Ian is like totally freaked as in like very concerned, because obviously like I have a good relationship with Ian Carroll, and to some degree he respects Valhalla. And he's like, look, I have this friend who's in the military. He has a YouTube channel, and he basically runs me through, and he's like basically saying that he wants to talk to me. And it was kind of said to me in a way that was like, if you don't kind of take this rope, like, and jump off of this Mitch train, like what's going to come out about Mitch is going to be explosive, and you're going to like go down on the ship. That's essentially the vibe that Valhalla was giving to Ian Carroll, and basically like kind of demanding to get on the phone with me. And I was like, and then he starts talking about, first he said stolen valor. Like he was like, he was never a Green Beret. I was like, he absolutely was a Green Beret. I sent that up the chain of the government. Like, that's just not true. And it felt to me like they were clearly being quite aggressive with Ian on the phone, demanding to speak to me, demanding that I allow them onto my platform, talking about his like ex-wives. I was like, I don't care about any of this. And I said to Ian, this seems to me like they're trying to distract me with stupid stuff. Like, if he has something that is concrete that like Mitch somehow defrauded me or lied and did like definitively was not a Green Beret, then please just have him email it to me.
Wait. Wait. Oh, wait. How is Valhalla VFT? And I didn't say this, Brooke said it. How is he going to be her security if he's on full disability? And I do remember Valhalla saying that he's full retired disabled or something because he got his shoulders blown out or something like that. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. I forgot what he said because I don't want to, because that's serious and I don't want to make fun of that. But if you've suffered a lot of war trauma and now you're on full disability, and I don't understand. I'm not in the military, so I don't know. How are you going to be her security? I think that's I don't know. I don't want to make fun of nobody. I don't want to, dismiss anybody. You may be able to be security. I don't know how it works, but Brooke is just making a point that I'm paying attention to. That's all. I'm not in the military, so maybe you could be on full disability and still be security. I don't know. I do not want to make fun of somebody's war injuries or what they have to go through after the war injuries, because I don't have those, and I don't want those, and I don't want anybody else to have those. And I'm sure that could be very painful, waking up in the morning or whatever. So I don't want to like make fun of somebody's war injuries. If went out and served our country and you have injuries from serving our country, like, God bless you. And I want to thank you for that. So I'm in no way laughing at somebody's war injuries. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, if you are on disability, can you still be security for somebody? I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. But maybe he has people that, like a security team, that could do it. So I'm not making fun of anybody's war injuries. I just want to say that. So I laughed, but the laugh was not about being on disability. It was the thought of securing somebody while being on disability, and it sounds like an oxymoron. All right, that's all.
Me. And I said, and if he emails that to me, I will deal with it immediately. And I also made it clear to Ian that, because they were like, oh, then like she could get in trouble for fraud because she raised money for this guy and he wasn't even like a Green Beret. I was like, first off, he never asked me to raise money for him. So the idea that he was doing this to defraud me for money, that came out naturally when I was live. I said I would do a give, send, go, because I said people were going to start digging up things. Like I just had a feeling like I thought it would be other people, but I just felt like, oh, let's raise money for him. He had a tough life, whatever. And I had that court paperwork of what he was going through.
So right now she's about to talk about whether or not she raised $130,000 for Mitch, because according to what I was hearing, she did. But now I think she may have said she didn't. So we'll see how that goes. But somebody just said right here. So Valhalla is saying Candace is evil because I know she's not evil, but everyone knows Erika is the one that's evil, because yesterday the stupid guy used to be on Candace's side, but not anymore. Now he doesn't trust her. And that's what I'm saying. And it's crazy that you pick opposite sides because somebody didn't want to do something. That's girl shit. And the opposite side thing is, I want to help Candace. I'm on Candace's side. And next thing you know, you go to the person that you say you hate and you despise, which is Mitch. And then you say, don't trust Candace. Why are you talking to me if you don't like me? You're going to your ops saying the person that you are supportive of is the ops. You go to your ops to tell your ops that the person that you support is the ops. And then when the ops does not agree with you, you go online and go off on the original ops, which is Mitch. Why is you up there talking to Mitch when he's the ops, telling the ops that Candace is the ops? I don't know what the hell is going
on. So that was natural. And not only that, but the very next day, which I will show on my show this week, Mitch sent me an email the day after I started the Give, Send, Go. The morning after, he sent me and Skylar an email and said, thank you so much for raising money, but I do not want to accept this money from you.
Right there. Thank you for raising the money, but I don't want to accept the money from you. So Mitch is not a scammer, because I lost about, 1,000 subscribers because I was shitting on Mitch and I was taking Valhalla's side. I was still on Candace's side, but it wasn't about Candace. It was about Mitch. And I was just like, Mitch scammed Candace. And when I did that video, I got about 1,000 people to unsubscribe from me, and they were saying all kinds of mess in the comments. But I'm like, he's a woman blanker. Like, forget this dude. And I was literally just going by what Valhalla said because he knows the dude. But then I called him a scammer. He didn't even take the damn money. So I stand corrected. But mind you, I don't know these damn people. I'm just going off of the information that I'm seeing. And I don't like woman blankers. I don't like a man that has put his hands on a woman. So if you have repeatedly put your hands on women, I don't like you. And that is a character issue. And I don't mess with you. So if I don't mess with you, I'm naturally not going to trust what comes out of your mouth. So that was my whole point of shitting on Mitch. I still think he's a piece of shit if he did all the things that they are saying he did.
And he was very self-deprecating. He was like, I'm just a fat, ugly man, and I just wanted to help, you know, and I don't deserve this. Like, I don't deserve this from the public. And then I called him and I was like, you know, Mitch, this is kind of stressful. Like, I don't want to figure out how to like give people back all this money. And he was like, how about this? If the tip that I gave you proves fruitful, like if it's actually Brian Harpole or if it's Erika, then I will take the money. Otherwise, I don't want it. So he was never trying to get money from me. That whole, he's a fraud. He was trying to steal. Like, none of that is real. It's just completely made up. And again, I will drop the receipts of exactly when he emailed me the morning after.
So right there, I want to let everybody that watches me knows that I still have a problem with the Mitch dude because of what he did to women. But I have to take back what I said about him being a scammer. I'll even possibly take down the video that I did about him saying that he was scamming Candace because now she has cleared this up and he didn't even take the money. So I'm probably going to take that video down after this live stream because it's null and void now. So shout out to Candace for clearing this up. And shout out to Mitch for not accepting the money. You have to be a very like noble man to not accept $130,000 that somebody just raised for you. That's a noble man. So now he just went from a scammer to a noble man, even though he still did some things to women that I have a problem with, but nobility is nobility.
So yeah, that's what I said to Ian. And I was like, I just don't care about anything about his background at all. I want to know if they have anything about him not being Green Beret. I will obviously post an update and say this guy completely tricked me with his metadata and everything. They were unwilling to do that. They did not want to do that. And so that's when they started, I guess, talking to his estranged son from 20 years ago. I don't know. I don't know, because I knew that it was an intentional trying to pull you, like they want to bring you down in mud so that you don't go forward and you have to just focus on the facts. So that is the backstory of Fort Huachuca. We all then know what happens next. And Alex Jones jumps into the foray. He's talking about Mitch's history. He's putting out all this information. Mark Amadei did, I do want to say as an update, I scrubbed through looking for roll calls, and then somebody indicated to me that they see him in his chair. He missed the roll call for some reason, but early on in the video, I agree, it does look like Mark Amadei. So that might be, it could be him. And we're looking for somebody else who looks like Mark Amadei. And I also think his height is wrong on Google. I don't think he looks like he's 5'9".
All right, so Brooke says, Debbie, he kicked me out for using caps lock. I didn't kick nobody out. I just shared a comment of what you said earlier, Brooke. Why would I kick you out? So if somebody is getting kicked out of my live, I did not do it. I don't kick people out of my live. The worst thing I'll do is delete a comment if you keep saying something crazy, but I'm not kicking you out of my live. I haven't deleted, kicked, or nothing. I haven't done anything today or any day. I don't do all that stuff. Like I said, if somebody say something crazy, I'll delete it, but I'm not kicking. You're in the live now. If you're commenting, Brooke, what are you talking about? I kicked you out. I didn't kick you out. YouTube is kicking people out if anybody got kicked out. So I'm not saying you didn't get kicked out. I'm saying I didn't do it.
So Mark Amadei might be completely like off the hook on that. And again,
Gary. Okay. Sorry. Talking about Gary.
he wasn't the person that Mitch initially said we gave him that photo. Now, the Cabot Phillips thing is also very interesting. I don't really care about, like, Mitch's estranged relationship with his son. Like, I'm not interested. I'm not Maury. I'm not here to like bring families back together. But I tried to debunk him. I thought that was very easy to be able to debunk him with Cabot Phillips, because Cabot Phillips, he has a daily show at the Daily Wire. I think he does it maybe 3 times a week or something. But the Morning Wire, obviously, I worked the Daily Wire, and I was like, well, that's pretty simple. If you're saying that Cabot Phillips was here in Arizona, he actually lives here in Nashville and he has a show. Let me just go find him on his show. Well, it also turns out that Cabot Phillips, from September 4th all the way through to September 10th until September 11th, took a vacation and he wasn't on his show.
And thank you, Laura, for the $5 Cash App. Thank you. Cash App is scrolling across the bottom of the screen if you want to support the content. Cash App is $AARON 1000.
So when I realized that, I did the right thing. I messaged Cabot Phillips. I sent him 2 messages asking if he could just answer whether or not he was there, because I don't want to throw like any shade his way. I had sent him, just to get to the Cabot Phillips bit, I had sent Mitch multiple photos of guys like this person. I thought maybe Dan Flood this. He's like, no, 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 no. I gave him no context, but saw that Cabot Phillips was trending, and I had no idea he was one of Erika's exes. I sent him the photo, and he's like, that's the guy. That's the guy that was with her. And again, I'm now relying on Mitch's memory. I don't know what his facial recognition software is. If it's like mine, it's terrible. Okay. I can meet someone like 5 times and still not place their faces. But if it was my husband, he can meet someone once and he's like, that's him. We saw him at the airport in New Jersey. You don't remember.
And I want to say this about Mitch saying he's seen Erika Kirk. And I'll say this, I'm going to do another live stream about this, but I'm just going to say this here. I'm starting to think, especially with the credibility of Mitch being rekindled. Earlier, I said that there's no way in hell that Erika Kirk is going to be in this facility right before they get rid of Charlie Kirk, because one, she needs an alibi, so she needs to be there. And so it needs to be, so it can be proof that there was an alibi. And two, why the hell would the wife of the husband that they're about to get rid of be around the people that are about to get rid of the husband? That's stupid. But guess what? Erika Kirk is stupid. I said plenty of times, I think Erika Kirk is an idiot. And guess what? Erika Kirk is everywhere. Name a place where Erika Kirk isn't. Erika Kirk is on every interview, every opportunity she has for somebody to look at her and see her ass is going to be there. She's a attention whore. So because she's an attention whore, there's a possibility that she was at that place instead of at home where she's supposed to be, because she's an idiot and an attention whore. So that makes sense. So let me read these super chats. Thank you, Gene, for the $2 super chat. L2 Design, that woman has multiple fake domestic violence. Okay. You talking about the snow guy. Okay.
Remember, and I'm like, of course I don't
Well,
remember.
we don't know if it's fake.
Some people have it, some people don't. So I just wanted to try to confirm it. Cabot Phillips did not respond to me. Okay, you can say he's not required to respond to me. That's fine. I'm giving you the information. I would probably respond, like, just because it's such an easy thing to do. But that was interesting. I was compelled by that. He said that he thought the person was potentially a pilot or would have had pilots in his family, because Mitch said, I'm a watch guy, and I recognized his watch, and it's a watch that
Thank you, Debbie.
pilots wear. It's digital. It had a yellow button, whatever. Well, there's never been anything publicly about Cabot being in the military. So I was like, that seems wrong to me. And then sure enough, I dug up a post that his grandfather was I don't know, like awarded high honors in the military and was an Air Force guy. So I was like, okay, well that's another like interesting thing that's happening. I would like to look further into that. Now, in terms of people saying that, Erika doesn't owe you an alibi, I didn't ask Erika for an alibi. So when suddenly I realized that Paramount Tactical was speaking with Andrew Colvett and she was providing an alibi to Andrew Colvett, well then suddenly now, if you're going to provide an alibi, then let's provide an alibi. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
happy to just like communicate whatever that alibi is. I never demanded it privately. I didn't demand it in her face. And I still don't, even if she had said, yeah, I was at Fort Huachuca, I was at a hotel and I was dropping off a package, that doesn't necessarily put her at the meeting the next day. But Mitch did say that the person who he thinks looks like Cabot Phillips was at that meeting the next day.
And to say this about Erika Kirk, Mitch said he's seen Erika Kirk at the hotel and not standing next to all these military operatives. Mitch said she was at a hotel and not at the base itself, standing next to the military operatives, just so y'all know.
So obviously that's interesting. Like, obviously, if we're investigating this, we should just, like, we could check it off the list and move on. I have messaged Brian Harpole, just so you guys know, thus far, I want to say 4 times, at least 3 times, asking him. Again, we can't say he was willing to give his flights, but doesn't want to also just give his metadata or a picture or something they took a text message at that time to clear his name. You either want to give an alibi or you don't want to give an alibi. You either are saying, I don't owe you an alibi, I don't want to answer at all. But if you're going to do something halfway, then you should provide a full alibi. Now, I will say that I had some communication. I did message also once the thing exploded with Andrew Kovac because he's just getting on my nerves. Like, really, I have been so nice in terms of what I have told the public about things that Andrew Kovac told me. He's starting to like a little bit play with the bull, and we're getting real close. We're getting real close to me just saying, if you guys really think that I have not been fair, you will really recognize how fair I have been if he keeps pressing me.
Uh-oh.
And I felt very pushed by that Paramount
Uh-oh.
Tactical thing. These people are lunatics, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, send me a text and I could have shut it down immediately. But you're like, I'm assuming you're also the person talking to Andrew. I mean, speaking to Alex, because Alex did say on his show that he spoke to Turning Point USA people.
Yup. Alex is not to be trusted. Gary is not to be trusted. And it's starting to look like Valhalla is not to be trusted.
And like, he had
And of course, George Webb is not to be trusted.
Brian Harpole's flight. So it's pretty obvious. It seems like they're working behind the scenes, and that's annoying me. It's annoying me a lot, actually. Um, Anyways, so once I saw that Andrew Colvett was speaking with Paramount Tactical and being, I don't know, I guess sort of denigrating what we were doing, I then was like, okay, let me text someone more responsible at Turning Point USA and ask, hey, do you guys want to give me an alibi? So I put Andrew Colvett and the COO in a chat, and I was like, hey, just figured we could have a direct line and you can just give me Erika's alibi and I'd be happy to publish it because I'm not interested in like throwing mud on someone's name. I just want to get to the truth. That conversation was had yesterday and they did give me an indication of what she was doing, which was making dinner for Charlie. I have asked for, metadata to show that it was, Charlie that she was texting, and I'm still waiting for that. So the last conversation I had with them, I think that was yesterday, Sunday at around 1:00 p.m. ish, my time, Central, I think, and they said that Erika got busy with the kids and that they were going to get me something. So I'm still waiting on that. It's just so you guys.
Thank you, Cheryl, for the Cash App. I appreciate you. Thank you. I have so many questions about several things sus.
Know that I have been responsible and speaking to the people directly trying to get the information. Now, obviously, Sam, I very much agree with you, and I'm going to let you jump in here. Actually, let's start with Harrison because I would love to hear his side. I think it's for the most part.
And make sure to hit the like button if you have not already. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you have not done so thus far.
He's done a lot of great work. He has not been feeding us a fed slop and telling us that Charlie had a magic neck, and it's good to hear from from people who disagree with us. So Harrison, if you want to unmute yourself and jump in, that would be great.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I guess my whole thing is, why does this meeting even matter? Like, what is the actual claim that's being made here? That's been my confusion the whole point, the whole time, is like, okay, let's say that there's absolute proof, photographic evidence that everything that Snow says is true. Like, who cares? I mean, what does that prove? What is the...
Can y'all get a likes up? We're almost at 900 people. We need about 600 more likes. So to the people who just came in, thank you for being here. Can you make sure to hit the thumbs up button as you come in, please? I want to just get these likes up. We need to get the likes at least at 600. So just hit the like button. Who have not hit the like button, I'm just reminding you to hit the like button. Thank you.
Actual accusation. Who do you think was conspiring with who to do what?
Yeah.
And I think obviously the name of the episode was, the day before Charlie Kirk was murdered. The insinuation is that this was a assassination planning meeting.
Thank you, Donald.
Yeah.
Which I don't even see any evidence of that. And then people I'm arguing with online are saying, no, this has nothing to do with the assassination.
Yeah.
So I guess, if the space is why this matters, why does Fort Huacachuca even matter? Like, what is the claim being made? I still don't even understand that.
So it matters because why would Brian Harpole be on Fort Huachuca at all? Right? It matters because he's giving an alibi, which means he doesn't want to be associated. Like, it could have easily not mattered. Kind of, to speak to your credit, he could have been like, yeah, I was at Fort Huachuca with my brother. And my brother's in the military. I was dropping off some food. Okay, like that could have been then suddenly a dead end. That would have been nothing. Now, because Mitch had described this as a top secret meeting in an off-site building and had described this as top brass at the Pentagon and said that these sorts of meetings, and I am forgetting the military term, are when you're just about to embark on like a mission. I know I really uneducated, but military guys will sound better saying that. It was compelling. Like, okay, like I said, Brian Harpole was acting funny. He's been acting weird. He's been telling verifiable lies, and he cared enough to present an alibi, meaning he didn't want people to think he was there, right? So if you have to give someone an alibi, it's because you don't want people to think that you're there. An alibi is not needed if there's nothing to hide. So that's why it matters. I think that's why it matters. And this reaction, rather than being forthcoming, is why it suddenly feels like, okay, this is important, because no one's acting normal. No one's just like, oh yeah, cool, he was there. Like, it also is, as we have now learned, it's an intel base. He was telling the truth about exactly what building it was. I didn't name the building on my show because I wasn't sure if that would be like a national security problem, but it just happened to be that JTF was borrowing that offsite building, and it was supposed to be a top secret meeting for those purposes. Somebody that was involved in blacking out the windows had sent us a tip. Again, it's how people are reacting to the meeting that lets us know that it's important.
Yes, I am beginning to see that, because it's how everybody is acting so weird and so almost semi-violent ever since she brought up this Mitch guy. This is what the web dude did.
County Court, George Webb Franklin County Court. Why is this so important in the Candace discussion? Why is Franklin County Court so important in this Candace discussion? Why is it so important with Mitch, the person who has 3 lawsuits involved in 2023, in May and June of 2023? That's the hammer time. He goes hammer crazy. Ready? In June of 2023, why all of this happening at this courtroom? Why is this courtroom so important? Well, first of all, it's shoe leather. Getting out and getting to the court. Unfortunately, it's closed today. But if you look at the lawsuits that are filed in May, count, the next day having 0. And they're going to show Mitch going nuts. Federal informant. Has nothing to do with Doge. Has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk's death. Has nothing to do with DuPont. Here's your chance now to say, they fooled me. Okay, they fooled you. So what? We're going to go back to Doge. We're going to go back to DuPont. Forget this. Forget this. This doesn't matter. But the feds know what Mitch did. Feds know what happened in this courtroom. And you're going to see that tonight. All the Fed sloppers are going to be out tonight. All the Fed sloppers are going to be out. You're going to see Gary with Paramount. There's going to be some really great true believers that are getting sucked in here too. People who really care about our country, really fight for our country, which is Valhalla's going to get sucked into this. But you're going to have Laura Loomer. You're going to have everybody who, did every kind of Fed op ever piling on Candace tonight. All Candace needs to do to avoid the pileup Just say, hey, Mitch was a Fed. Mitch was a Fed, I got fooled. We're moving on. So, from Pasco, Washington, beautiful Pasco, Washington, beautiful Franklin County, you're going to see it all tonight. The lynching is going to happen. There's the jail right over there. The lynching, the electron. Mitch was a Fed, I got fooled. We're moving on. So, from Pasco, Washington, beautiful Pasco, Washington, beautiful Franklin County, you're going to see it all tonight. The lynching is going to happen. There's the jail right over there. The lynching, the electronic lynching of Candace Owens is going to happen tonight. If she doesn't say this doesn't matter. If she
See? Like, why is it so extreme? Why is it so threatening that Candace Owens stops talking about this guy? Yeah, the L word is absolutely disgusting. Oh, it gets worse. Y'all didn't see it? I'll play more.
doesn't say Mitch is a Fed, there'll be an electronic lynching of Candace Owens. She'll electronically be drawn out
Now listen to what he says next.
of that jail right over there and hung on that tree across the street.
He said, and hung on that tree across the street.
Drawn out of that jail right over there and hung on that tree across the street electronically. If she doesn't say Mitch is a Fed.
Hung on a tree, y'all. A white man is saying that about a black woman. You're going to get, I'm going to use the word pinched and hung on a tree. And somebody said something about Tim Pool. Tim Pool said some disgusting, egregious stuff about Candace also. So these guys are on the other side, and it's absolutely disgusting. And these words are very threatening because at the end of the day, Candace is still a woman. Like, why are you saying all these disgusting, terrible things to a black woman as a white man?
Okay, I mean,
Hotel, I never said it was important. Like I said, my perspective was there's 1,000 different reasons that she could have been at that base. Her mother has a contract or had a contract, has a contract with the DOD. Erika has been open about her mother's ties to the military in the past. She actually did an interview and said that she moved to Arizona because her mother had a contract with the military. So again, weird thing is when Andrew's like, Erika wasn't in some fort, as if he's never heard of Fort Huachuca. His brother is in the military. His brother is a Captain Curtis Colvett. His first cousin is Captain Robert Colvett. So that kind of a language is why I've named this, why it suddenly really matters, right? It was sort of one episode. I didn't exactly dedicate a whole series to it. The reaction has been so almost like violently obsessed that the public is now going, oh, okay, well, it feels like there's something here. I think.
Yes, it's violently obsessive. Violently. And I need everybody watching to send this video to your group chats, to the people that you know are interested in these type of conversations, whether it's Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk, or Candace Owens, because I think this is probably one of the most important live streams that I've done, because this right here is answering so many questions. See, a lot of different things that any content creator has been talking about has somewhat been assumptions, conjecture, or interpretations of Candace's words. Now, see, the thing about it is, this was crazy. Candace does not get this candid on her own live stream on YouTube. I don't know why. She's getting to the nick and crannies of all of this, and she doesn't really do this on her live stream. So this is very important information. So send this video to anybody that you know that is into this Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Erika Kirk saga.
That's just sort of our natural instinct.
okay, I mean, I think if you're saying that somebody is somewhere and they weren't there, then providing the alibi is not in and of itself suspicious. If the alibi is not confirmed, I guess you can be suspicious of that. But again, I still, there's still not an answer. Like, okay, let's just say you're right. Let's just say that absolutely they were there.
Yeah.
What does that prove? What is the accusation? Because what it sounds like, and I mean, what the insinuation obviously is that this was a planning meeting for the assassination, and the people there had pre-knowledge of the assassination, and were therefore in on it. So I think that if you are making that accusation, which in effect you are, right? You're in effect saying, okay, Erika Kirk and the head of TPUSA security were at this pre-assassination
I didn't
planning
say Erika
meeting.
was there, so you guys have to stop repeating that. It's Erika was never at that meeting, and that's another thing. I've never said Erika was at the meeting. Mitch has never said Erika was at that meeting. There was never an indication she was at that meeting. He did not see her on September 9th. It was Brian Harpole who was at that meeting. To my
She was at a hotel, not at the meeting.
knowledge, Brian Harpole, I don't know why he would be at an intel base at a meeting with top brass. And what I can tell you is if he was there, Turning Point doesn't know he was there. According to Erika and Justin Strife, who I sat down for 4.5 hours. So if Turning Point has him on their payroll and they've outright purchased a security firm and they don't know what he's doing on an intel base, yeah, it matters. And we don't need to know the conclusion to follow the clues here that something's wrong. So that there's this fashionable thing where people are always like, well, what's the final thing you're saying? Well, we don't know the final thing that we're saying because that's not how an investigation works.
Well,
Like, we
you
have to
can.
follow the thing that's the lie. We have to follow, okay, this guy said he was here, he wasn't. What does that mean? I don't know what it means yet. I don't know what it means yet. What I'm saying is the reaction to this is not normal. Brian Harpole shouldn't be on an intel base if Turning Point doesn't know about it. And he's presented an alibi that doesn't actually cover where he was, but he felt it necessary to give an alibi. So, I don't know, interesting. And I think we have a right to think. So, if that's cool, I'm just going to let somebody else jump in right here. I think, is that okay, Harrison? Or do you want to just have a final thought there?
Sure. Okay. So Erika Kirk was not there. You don't believe that Erika Kirk was there at all.
She wasn't there on the 9th. She was not seen on the 9th. It's not about whether I believe she was there. She wasn't seen on the 9th. That was never said. He never said it. I never said it.
Okay. But
Yeah.
she was seen on the 8th.
Yes. And not at the Intel meeting, not in the Intel,
At a hotel.
headquarters or whatever building they were using. She was not seen with the top brass, nothing like that.
Okay. So the pre-assassination planning meeting happened on the morning of the 9th. She was seen in the area on the afternoon of the 8th, but those were unrelated. She just happened to be
They
there.
are related because of the person she was with, who he believes looks like Cabot Phillips. He did see that person at the meeting on the 9th.
Okay. So you are saying that basically these people were there to conspire to kill Charlie Kirk, right?
You can keep saying what you're saying, or you can listen to what I'm saying. But if you want to just say what you're saying, just say it and don't put it behind you're saying. Just say, hey, I'm Harrison and I'm saying, right? That's easier, I think.
Right.
Okay. Hi, I'm Harrison. What I'm saying is that in 2 months, nobody is going to remember the name Mitch Snow or Fort Huachuca, and this is not going to go anywhere, and that this is a nothing burger. I just think it's an absolute nothing burger that's not going to lead anywhere. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. You can prove me wrong, but again, my whole thing has always been that this devolves into this question of like, was he there? Was he not there? And the whole time I'm just going, what does it matter? If the conclusion is that he's a complete liar,
everything matters when it comes to an investigation, sir. Everything matters. Not just the bullet or the blood, the dirt, the location, the wall, the glass, the broken glass, just in any murder investigation, everything matters. What's on the floor matters. What's not on the floor matters. The temperature of the room matters. The time of day matters. And I'm just saying any investigation, whether the blood splatter came from this way or this way, the direction of the blood splatter matters, right? Everything matters because as an example, I'm not saying Charlie Kirk, but the direction of the blood splatter tells you whether the person probably, did it themselves or somebody else did it. Because I'm using another example, not Charlie Kirk, but in a lot of investigations, it'll come up that, the person did it themselves, right? And they have to look at blood splatter to see if physically they would have been able to do it themselves, or did somebody else do it and try to make it look like they did it themselves. So what I'm saying is every single thing matters, and the smallest, most minuscule part of the details can get somebody vindicated or put in prison. So everything matters in a murder investigation. And this is a murder investigation. Unofficial because we're not police.
The exact same outcome is proving that these people were actually there, because so far you haven't connected it to the assassination in any way whatsoever, except that maybe this guy thinks that he saw people that are around Charlie Kirk. And my whole point is, obviously the insinuation is, I mean, again, when you're saying Erika Kirk was there, but not actually there on the day, but in the area, but not because of the assassination meeting, but it's like, okay, clearly the insinuation is that these people had something to do with the assassination, and you can make that claim or not, or pretend that you are, but or pretend that you're not, but you obviously are. But like, that's all. I don't really care about any of that.
Thanks,
But
Hold on. Shout out to Patricia for dropping a $50 cash app. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the cash app. Cash app. Thank you for the cash app.
Thank you so much, Patricia, for the $50 cash app. Thank you.
but you have to.
Thank you. Let's give somebody, I think,
Okay.
you know, just for you to say something clearly and obviously and clearly doesn't make it clear or obvious.
Okay.
I'm following this investigation. Charlie was assassinated. I'm going to take every step and I'm going to say what I know at the exact time that I know it. So I cannot say that it was definitively an assassination meeting. I can say that I have a feeling about this meeting, that if it is in fact Brian Harpole there and he's lying about that, then that's not good. It's not a good thing because there's no reason to lie unless you have something to hide. But thank you so much for your feedback. I appreciate that, and hope to speak in the future. I am going to allow Ian. Did you want to jump in here?
I'd be happy to, but depends on what you want to talk about. I had to jump in late. I was in a different meeting when I got some text messages of like, yo, get in here.
Oh, yeah. I was just mentioning, I was giving the timeline and just telling people when you and I had the call, and you were kind of just trying to give me a heads up about, Valhalla, I think it was Valhalla, right? That wanted to speak with me about Mitch and that his backstory was stolen valor. I wasn't sure if I got something wrong, but I thought it was Valhalla, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have been trying to get a hold of you. I'm like a regular conduit for people trying to get a hold of you. You know how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, definitely there's been, it was once things started to
Shout out to Ian Carroll.
fire up, people were starting to talk about like what they saw as holes in Mitch's story.
Yeah.
And it's been very interesting to watch how that has evolved on channels like Paramount Tactical, especially.
Yeah, and now I don't know if it's evolving or devolving.
Yeah. I do want to say though, real quick though, is that I was expecting Valhalla to go way more off the rail. Like he definitely voiced his opinion when he did his episode with all of his evidence. He definitely came out hot and voiced his opinion. But I actually was pleasantly surprised by how Valhalla did that, in the sense that based on what he knew and the source that he had, he condemned what he saw as what Mitch was and what Mitch's actions were. But he also didn't like. I felt glad that he didn't overstep himself and kind of blow up on you too hard and try to like over extrapolate what he was showing. But I also have been watching what other people have been bringing out about Mitch since then, that seemed to make me question whether what Valhalla had was the whole story. So I'm just kind of sitting back and watching.
And that was also another thing. I think that's a good point, Ian, is like people that were pretending that they were speaking to like his like baby mamas and his son that he hasn't spoken to since he was 2, by the way. So if he hasn't spoken to him since he was 2, the implication is his son knows his father through his mother. That's like what happens when you don't speak to your father since you were 2. But it is interesting that they didn't do any background checks on the women, who then I saw, and I didn't want to again get dragged down in the mud, but like they had accused a few men, but they stayed away from that. It was like, no, 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 like this is what's out there about Mitch. And that's why I was saying to you, like, I was like, this feels to me like a way to distract from what I basically am trying to do, which is I feel like I'm the only one who's actually trying to debunk Mitch, like
Yeah.
going to Brian Harpole, going to Turning Point USA and saying, hey, like, give me something. I'm happy for this to be wrong. Whereas everyone else seems to just be trying to distract. I do want to let's do Ryan and then Isabella, and then we'll do Diligent Denizen. I think that's right. Yeah.
Diligent, actually, his app kicked him down. You should re-add him.
I did.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Candace, I'm just jumping in here listening right now, so I'm going to hang out for a minute, and then
Cool.
I'll jump in at the end.
Cool. Awesome. Isabella, did you want to jump in here?
Yeah, hi, thanks for having me up here. It's been a lot of debate going on with this, and I think Harrison did bring up some good points, and I've been really interested in the drama between you and Evan, and I'm curious, so Morgan and Evan are friends, and did she just randomly reach out to you and let you know this? Because that's a little shady on her part with Evan.
No, she didn't. She actually did it by accident. So she, I don't know her at all. She's I think she's had a pretty good opinion about stuff, and she's definitely kind of been one of the early people on saying how she was treated when she started talking about Israel. And so I think what happened was we should definitely separate Evan from Israel, Evan from Morgan. Morgan kind of, it seemed weird because it was like nothing happened, and then they both kind of wrote these statements, like, and you don't actually have to, break up with anybody on X, that you can just just not agree with something. I don't know. I never feel like the need to write like a very long statement if I disagree with something, a commentator that I'm listening to. I'm like, kind of like, like I listen to,
Yeah.
like, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I'm never like, for a long time, I've really loved Matt Walsh, but his take, it's like, I don't know. So I think it seemed a little extra to people on the outside that were looking in.
Yeah.
And it was at the same time. And so I messaged her and I was like, I follow you. You could just message me if you thought some part of your story wasn't real. And I sent her some docs about the cartel person. I was like, he sent me so many docs that like his story is real. Like, I don't, this happened. Here are the medals he received. I obviously did my due diligence. And she said, thank you. And then she was sending me a clip of, it was just a clip of Paramount Tactical. And I think she was sending it because she was like, oh, look what his son is saying. But actually, I found it interesting because the son then confirmed the story, like that he was on Fort Rodrigo Air Base. And she didn't realize that when she screamed.
So the son actually validated what Mitch actually said. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm starting to realize that Mitch is actually a credible witness. And just remember, he never said that Erika Kirk was at the thing. She was at a hotel. And I had to reiterate that today also. So I'm talking to myself also. And thank you, Christopher. There was an explosive chemical. That's why they had to repave the shit.
Recorded, her text messages were coming in from Evan. And he was like saying what he was going to post. So I think it was just honestly an innocent mistake. But I was then like, okay, it looked weird that you both posted this. And now it looks like you're kind of coordinating it. And I think people felt it was coordinated because it's not a natural thing to do. Now, Evan, the reason I say I would separate him is just because like, he's just lying. Like he's like, this has been debunked. It hasn't been debunked. He's like defending Alex Jones and saying, oh, Alex Jones did say that, you met your husband through PJW. I'm like, no, he didn't say that. So he seems like he's being intentionally dishonest about stuff. She kind of just made one statement. Timing was a bit weird. Yeah, that's kind of how that happened.
Interesting. Okay. And then something else, like with what Evan is claiming, it kind of just reminds me of, there's a man that's coming into prominence, and then you see a bunch of women come out, Me Too. It's like, okay, maybe Mitch is not, maybe he's not correct, maybe he's lying, but he does seem to have more evidence supporting what he's saying than these random disgruntled women. So I'm not saying that it's incorrect, that they're wrong, but I feel like we should be remembering that, hey, this is what these like women do, and the government will get behind them and kind of push them to say these Me Too things to discredit people. So
right. And the thing is and correct me if I'm wrong, but like there were no convictions. So it feels like we're getting involved in somebody's divorce and somebody's like, man, like it's just not my business.
It's always messy.
It's not my business.
Well, it does matter though, Candace. I'm sorry. It does matter. If Mitch has assaulted multiple women, that does matter. That is somebody's character. I'm sorry. You may not think that matters. That matters. All right, let's do this. Everybody in the chat. Does it matter whether or not Mitch assaulted multiple women? Yes or no? As far as his credibility to talk to somebody about, hey, believe me because I'm not lying. Does it matter? Yes or no? So I'm getting no's and yeses. No's and yeses. Come on, y'all. Does it matter that whether Mitch is lying or not due to the fact that he is a woman blanker? All right, the chat is freezing up. The chat is freezing up. Hold on a second. Let's see. Yes. Well, okay. I'm getting yeses and nos. I'm trying to see if I'm getting more. I think I'm getting more no's than yeses. Okay. Not proved. No. Yes. He's never been convicted. No. Yes. Okay. All right. So y'all say it doesn't matter whether a man is a woman blanker. It's not this case. It matters, but it's not relevant. Okay. All right. I think it matters.
Sorry, and I'm sorry to say that I don't care, but I don't care. I care about who killed Charlie Kirk. I care about whether what he said he saw in Fort Huachuca is real or not. And every other piece of his story checked out. Like, I got the military police report, so this just feels like mud, you know? And look, like I said to Ian, I said, look, if your buddy Gary wants to do, like, you know, Becoming Mitch 9 seasons, let him do it. You know, everybody has to follow like what is their passionate life. And I was like, I just personally don't care. And so I encourage everybody who is feeling passionately against Mitch to go down that rabbit hole. I am focused on what happened that day, and thus far, nothing Mitch has said to me has not checked out. And even they won't even admit that they, like, you know, lied about some stuff in the past. Like when Ian was contacted, they were like, it's stolen valor. He wasn't a Green Beret. And then they like casually admitted on their show, okay, no, he was a Green Beret. But I'm embarrassed he was a Green Beret because look at these female and their allegations, but we're not going to mention all the allegations that exist with these women. Like that just feels like, it does feel like Me Too. And I'm just not interested in it. Morgan just actually jumped on. So I do want to add her as a speaker. And Morgan, you sort of missed maybe some of this, but I did just sort of run people through what happened and kind of said, like, I kind of view what you and Evan did to be different. And, you know, I think for everybody, it was just sort of the timing of you guys, like, and the style of needing to announce it, I think was a bit different. And I think that's why you kind of got the reaction that you did.
And just for the record, I think Mitch is a credible witness, even though he did those things, even though I said it matters. I'm still going to consider what he's saying. And now that I'm getting a little bit more clarity in all of this, I can see things a little bit more clearly versus just being emotional, because men get emotional too. When you hear woman blanker, you just like, oh, he's trash, right? But the thing that makes me say that, the only thing that makes me consider what Mitch is saying is because of all of these disgusting people trying to fight against Mitch being heard, if that makes any sense. I don't like dude, okay? But because everybody else that are the nasty people don't like him, it actually makes me want to listen to him, because if all of these weirdos over here are trying to get us to not listen to Mitch, it must mean Mitch is telling the truth. So sometimes these idiots can go out here and mean well and discredit Mitch. But the fact that you are spending so much energy discrediting Mitch actually does the opposite and causes us to ignore Mitch being a piece of crap and a woman blanker and actually listen to him. But it's you idiots' fault because y'all keep telling us not to listen to him. It's almost like if I say, don't think about a pink elephant. You want to think about a pink elephant because I told you not to think about a pink elephant. But the only thing that hits your mind is pink elephant. So the more these people are saying, Mitch is this, Mitch is that, the more we're going to think about Mitch. You idiots. I'm not talking about the chat. I'm talking about these stupid content creators telling us not to listen to Mitch. The more you say don't listen to something, the more we're going to listen to it. You dummies. If y'all would have just stayed quiet and didn't say nothing, we would have made our own decisions and would have been like, man, I don't know about this Mitch. I don't know about this Mitch dude. And that would have been it.
I just wanted to give you the opportunity to have the floor and say what you wanted to.
All right, so hold on. Before this new person comes up. Shout out to Brian. Is someone unalived? Okay, if someone unalived my mom and a convicted ex-offender was a witness and has a full description of the perp, I'm definitely gonna, want to hear what they have to say. Forget his past. Tell them what you saw. Yeah, but there is something called a credible witness, and the credibility of a witness has a lot to do with who they actually are as a person. Shout out to Salt. Salt. Seems like the people attacking Candace's credibility are trap-seeking dogs, so the likely people involved don't step on them. I can agree on that 1000%. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. L Design, dude, watch Johnny Depp case, proved psychopath. Oh, I watched that case. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. But here's my mindset. If other men are coming out saying, yo, don't trust this dude, this dude is a woman blanker, I'm like, shout out to you for calling this guy out. Because you don't necessarily see men calling men out for being woman blankers. But in this case, these men are calling him out for being a woman blanker in order to discredit him. Because another thing I want y'all to think about Valhalla is, if Mitch is so terrible, why don't you just talk about Mitch being terrible instead of him being terrible because you don't want him to keep talking about this thing to Candace? Because it's starting to look like, one, you want to be the Candace correspondent. You want to go on Candace's show. You want to be seen with Candace or alongside of Candace instead of Mitch or somebody else. So it kind of comes off as some of these content creators are jealous of Mitch, who had an opportunity to go on her platform, and these other guys have not. That may have something to do with that also. And I'm not speaking to a specific content creator, but well, actually I will. I think the Alex dude is 1000% jealous. 1000% the Alex Tones dude is jealous of Candace Owens. I don't know about the other ones. They may or may not be.
Morgan?
Oh, hi. I didn't know
Hi.
that you were talking to me. I'm sorry. How are you?
Yeah,
How is
good. How
everybody?
are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for giving me the floor because there's been so much freaking drama the last couple of days, and everybody I feel like has been trying to pit us against one another for some reason. And I keep reiterating, I have no issues with Candace. I am still 100% on board with the investigation. I have my reservations about Mitch, and I feel like I should be able to voice those concerns. And I know that a lot of people don't care about his past or his history, or I don't even want to say only his history, because currently it's my understanding that he does have open cases. But when we're looking at, somebody's credibility, how can we find them credible if the only thing that we have to take is their word for something? And right now it's he said, she said. He said that he saw people there and we can only take his word for it. And when you have every single person in his life, not only the exes, but his children who he's
And thank you, Elizabeth, for the Cash App. Thank you, Elizabeth, for the $20 Cash App. Thank you so much.
never had custody of any of them. They all say the same thing, that he's a pathological liar. I have trouble trusting an individual like that. And I just want to make sure that we stay on track in finding out what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, and so I think what I would offer back is that's what we have been doing. So rather than speaking to his son, I contacted people on the base. Like, okay, he said that somebody named Neff, which is what he said initially in contacting me, Captain Neff was the one who questioned him. So rather than speaking to his son from 22 years ago, I think the people would say, why don't you speak to somebody who's on Fort Huachuca base now and see if there's a Captain Neff there? And that's what we did. And we confirmed that Captain Neff and the 10th Brigade was there. He said it was in an offsite building, a JTF offsite building. We spoke to people at the base and they told us this is the exact building, here's where it is in the map, and they are borrowing the space. He told us that this incident happened and the bomb dogs were called. So I made an effort and successfully
Brown Sugar
got the police report. That's how we verify whether or not he's a pathological liar, is by verifying what he said, right? And so that's why, as I said before you jumped on, I reached out to the people that were involved. I reached out to Brian Harpole 3 times. He wanted to give an alibi in the sense of like giving flights for 3:42 that afternoon. Okay, so what's stopping you from giving us what you're doing at 7:30 a.m., right? Like that kind of is what's weird. It's like you give half.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. They'll give half of the receipts, but not the other receipts. Why are you giving receipts if you don't want to give all the receipts? Erika Kirk did the same thing. And that's the reason why we all think these people are lying.
An alibi that doesn't matter, but you don't want to give the full thing. You don't want to just message me and say, hey, just so you know, that wasn't me. So that's what we're actually doing, is trying to verify the last thing, which is just like really his memory. He did tell the truth. He told the truth about everything that happened that morning. And so the last thing is, does he have a good facial memory? And thus far, we've not been able to, and I am in the process, as I said, of speaking with Turning Point USA. We haven't yet gotten a clean answer from people who have indicated that they do want to give an alibi, right? Because Andrew Colvett is messaging Paramount Tactical with an alibi. Well, I'm your girl. I'm the only one I think that's trying to debunk Mitch. Like, because I'm like, give me your alibi and I will post it. So yeah, I think that's
I guess my concern is like, okay, so if they don't provide any alibis, then what happens? Does this just stay open ended and then it keeps being the main focus?
Well, they did. That's the point. And that's why this is now that's why I named this why it suddenly really matters, right? So if they had like kind of stayed out of it and we're like, well, I'm not even going to answer because it's so stupid, then we're like, okay, well, maybe he's just wrong. And that would be what it was. He would just be wrong. He wouldn't be a liar because he was where he said he was, and the people that were there, and Captain Neff was whatever. But they did give an alibi. So they do care. Right? They cared enough to give it to like obscure YouTubers, which is kind of random. Like, it's like, okay, why are you wheeling and dealing? If Andrew Colvett did not get caught live orchestrating an alibi.
That part right there. That part right there. And this is the reason why I say everybody at Turning Point USA are idiots. Andrew Colvett is an idiot. Erika Kirk is an idiot. Frank Neff, or whatever his, Frank Neff, no, Frank Turek is an idiot. The Neff dude is an idiot. They all are idiots due to the fact that every time they open their mouth, it backfires on them. And it just makes more sense for them to shut up because they're so stupid. Frank Neff is an idiot. Frank Turek is an idiot. Erika Kirk is an idiot. And Andrew Colvett is an idiot. They all are idiots. Every time they open their mouth, they end up making themselves look stupid. They all are idiots, in my opinion. And no, they're not running a company properly They're running a company into the ground. So some of you may say, well, how can they all be idiots and they're running a company? They're not running a company. You do know a plane can fly with no engines, right? You do know a plane can fly with no engine. See, Charlie Kirk got the plane in the air, and then Charlie Kirk died, which means the engine fell off, and now the plane is just coasting. These idiots are not running the company. The company is just coasting, and at some point, it's just going to start falling and then nosedive into a damn lake or a mountain. So they're not running the company. The company is just running because the engine of the company fell off. They are idiots. They are stupid idiots. Oh yeah, Tyler Boyer, he's also an idiot.
Voice those concerns. And I know that a lot of people don't care about his past or his history, or I don't even want to say only his.
Yeah, no pilot, either engine or pilot, whatever. No pilot. A plane can't. A plane literally, like I've taken the avionics. I've taken avionics, and in that field of avionics, it used to be a saying: why should there be dogs in cockpits of airplanes? What is the purpose of a dog to be in a cockpit of an airplane? To bite the pilot if the pilot touches anything. Because planes run themselves. Your job as the pilot is to get the plane in the air and to land the plane. But the plane runs on cruise control as is in the air. Just like your car has cruise control. The plane runs on cruise control when it's in the air. The pilot's job is to land it and to put it in the air. But once turning point is in the air, you don't necessarily need a pilot. You don't necessarily need an engine. They're idiots. They're not running turning point.
Currently, it's my understanding that he does have open cases. But when we're looking at, you know, somebody's credibility, how can we find them credible if the only thing that we have to take is their word for something? And right now it's he said, she said. He said that he saw people there and we can only take his word for it. And when you have every single person in his life, not only the exes, but his children, who he's never had custody of any of them, they all say the same thing, that he's a pathological liar. I have trouble trusting an individual like that. And I just want to make sure that we stay on track in finding out what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, and so I think what I would offer back is that's what we have been doing. So rather than speaking to his son, I contacted people on the base. You know, like, okay, he said that Neff, somebody named Neff, which is what he said initially in contacting me, Captain Neff was the one who questioned him. So rather than speaking to his son from 22 years ago, I think the people would say, why don't you speak to somebody who's on Fort Huachuca base now and see if there's a Captain Neff there? And that's what we did. And we confirmed that Captain Neff and the 10th Brigade was there. He said it was in an offsite building, a JTF offsite building. We spoke to people at the base and they told us this is the exact building, here's where it is in the map, and they are borrowing the space. He told us that this incident happened and the bomb dogs were called. So I made an effort and successfully got the police report. That's how we verify whether or not he's a pathological liar.
Yo, I don't know why, but look, Yvette just said, I'm convinced people don't drink enough water. And I just went downstairs to get some water. That is so funny. Second you said that, I came up here with some water so I totally agree with you. I was like, I can't do a live stream without water.
Is by verifying what he said, right? And so that's why, as I said before you jumped on, I reached out to the people that were involved. I reached out to Brian Harpole 3 times. He wanted to give an alibi in the sense of like giving flights for 3:42 that afternoon. Okay, so what's stopping you from giving us what you're doing at 7:30 a.m., right? Like that kind of is what's weird. It's like you give half an alibi that doesn't matter, but you don't want to give the full thing. You don't want to just message me and say, hey, just so you know, that wasn't me. So that's what we're actually doing, is trying to verify the last thing, which is just like really his memory. He did tell the truth. He told the truth about everything that happened that morning. And can
y'all make sure to hit the like button? Some of y'all have not hit the like button yet. Can y'all please hit the thumbs up button? Can we get to 1,000 likes? Because we should have 1,000 likes by now. Please and thank you.
The last thing is, does he have a good facial memory? And thus far, we've not been able.
Keep hitting the like button, y'all. Y'all start and then y'all will stop. Y'all will stop. Hit the like button, hit the like. There we go. Thank you. Keep hitting the like button.
To, and I am in the process, as I said, of speaking with Turning Point USA. We haven't yet gotten a clean answer from people who have indicated that they do want to give an alibi, right? Because Andrew Colvett is messaging Paramount Tactical with an alibi. Well, I'm your girl. I'm the only one I think that's trying to debunk Mitch. Because I'm like, give me your alibi and I will post it. So yeah, I think that's
I guess my concern is like, okay, so if they don't provide any alibis, then what happens? Does this just stay open-ended and then it keeps being the main focus?
Well, they did. That's the point. And that's why this is now, that's why I named this, why it suddenly really matters, right? So if they had like kind of stayed out of it and we're like, well, I'm not even going to answer because it's so stupid, then we're like, okay, well, maybe he's just wrong. And that would be what it was. He would just be wrong. He wouldn't be a liar because he was.
So if everybody was a shut up, like I said, in Turning Point, we all would have looked at Mitch as a liar in the first place because it was too far-fetched. But because all these idiots keep saying stuff, we now believe Mitch. This is what I'm saying. Turning Point is full of idiots.
Was where he said he was, and the people that were there, and Captain Neff was whatever. But they did give an alibi, so they do care, right? They cared enough to give it to like obscure YouTubers, which is kind of random. Like it's like, okay, why are you wheeling and dealing? If Andrew Colvett did not get caught live orchestrating an alibi, it shows that Erika cared because she's showing her metadata. So wouldn't the common sense thing to?
So it shows that Erika is an idiot. And Erika is trying to hide something, and it showed that Andrew Colvett is an idiot, and he's trying to hide something because he sat there and texted him. And it shows that Gary is an idiot because his dumbass actually read it on live and said, Andrew told me, because Gary is an idiot.
If you care that much, rather than going through obscure YouTubers, like, wouldn't you just go direct to Candace and be like, hey, I saw you did an episode on this. Like, here's the information you're looking for.
All you got to do is tell Candace. You're telling dumbass Gary instead of just telling Candace. It's stupid.
They all have a direct line to me. I would have published it immediately.
Right. I wonder if say, let's Erika does provide something, are people going to be, are they going to accept that from?
Draynall says, baby boomer here just subscribed to your channel. Great job. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. We are getting to the bottom of this. Thank you for subscribing.
I would, and I would end it. Like that's.
Thank you, Brown Sugar.
Like, my goal is not to look stupid, right? So like, if she gives me like an alibi and she's like, here's where I was, like, why would I not just instantly be like, hey, here, like, it wasn't her. Thanks, Mitch. Like, it was a different blonde. Like, we've been very open to that. And I said that 1,000 times on the show. You either have really good memory when you see faces, or you have a bad memory like I do when I see faces. I don't know Mitch, so I don't know, but he was pretty detail oriented about the watch and little things. And I think beyond anything else, the reaction when Andrew Colvett is wheeling and dealing behind the scenes, it then makes things really compelling, right? If he didn't get caught on that live, I probably.
So Hannah, we have a theory about that. And I call him Gregory when I speak on this in particular, because YouTube blocked one of my videos when I actually said what you just said, Hannah. So yes, I have a theory about that myself. And this is what Hannah said. I'm not going to repeat it, but y'all can read it right here, because YouTube will try to block my video if I say this, because you cannot take away a person's victimhood through a YouTube video. So I'm going to call him Gregory to keep me from getting in the doghouse with YouTube. So my theory on this right here is that there's a possibility that Gregory had to fake his death, and it is legal to fake your death in Utah, which is crazy. Why is it legal to fake your death in Utah? That's just the weirdest shit. But it's legal to fake your death in Utah. That's the first thing. And there's a possibility that Gregory faked his death in order to keep one of two things happening. If there was a military operative that was ready at any point to unalive him, it would make sense for you to unalive yourself. No, I'm sorry. It would make sense to fake your unaliving so nobody can do nothing. All right, that's the first thing. I did not mean what I just said at first. But the main reason why, in my opinion, is because Gregory, using the word Gregory, was about to get the same treatment that Diddy was going to get when Diddy had his 2 lawsuits that ruined his life. Y'all remember the Cassie lawsuit and then the Lil Rod lawsuit? Those 2 lawsuits literally ruined Diddy's life. And because of those 2 lawsuits, Diddy is now in prison for 50 months. And in my opinion, Charlie Kirk had a lawsuit, a very damning lawsuit coming down the pipeline in order to circumvent that lawsuit or get away from being a victim of that lawsuit. Gregory faked his death, and now there's nobody to sue. So that is my opinion on that.
Would be neutral. I mean, I did 1 episode on this. Everybody's acting like I've done like becoming Brigitte. You know what I mean? Like we've been investigating the Charlie thing. We've covered so many things. I do 1 episode on Mitch, and everyone's like, "No, like we gotta talk to his high school classmates. We gotta talk." It's like, dude, like, like everybody calm down. I'm getting threats of lawsuits in the background. So like Ian was like, you know, I gotta talk to you before your next episode. Is what his text was, because they were putting pressure on him to get me to stop reporting on this. They didn't want me to even interview Mitch. So
Yeah.
I just find that to be compelling. Like, what is this panic about? Especially because you could end it in 4 seconds by just messaging me and being like, here you go.
Yeah, well, they never are forthcoming. I mean, that's the problem with Turning Point this far.
Yeah.
And they could put a lot of things to rest, but they keep gaslighting. So
Yeah.
hopefully they do. I still
I
don't
hope so
trust
too.
Mitch, but that's just where I'm at with it. And yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
that's fine. Yeah, and I want to
Anybody know what, Angela? I didn't see your question. What's your question, Angela? I didn't see your question. Anybody? You say anybody know? Anybody know what?
like I'm totally chill with that. Like I by the way, like if I was running like the Bachelor show, I would get it. Like, you know, but I'm not asking people to marry Mitch. I'm asking people to trust me enough to have done my due diligence to tell you that he was where he says he was. And
I
that
believe, I do
yeah.
want to interject and
And
say, I do
so
believe that he's there, that he was
but
there.
what
I
I
mean,
can't figure out for what other reason, because he didn't ask to come on my show. He didn't ask me for money. Like he literally had his friend send me an email saying like, this is something that you should know. And then I asked him to come on the show. And then I randomly live said, you know, I wanted to raise money. And then he, which you missed, Morgan, said to me, I don't want the money the very next morning, and said, if the tip ends up working and it helps you solve the murder of Charlie, then sure. But I don't, you know, I'm not in this for money. I'm just like a fat old ugly guy. So like the whole idea of him doing this for money or doing this for fame just doesn't jive with the facts of how it all came about, you know? So for me, obviously I'm the one that's in the center dealing with him. Yeah, do I think he's like paranoid? Do I believe that he probably hasn't been like the number one father in life? Sure. That's just not my business, you know? It's just genuinely not my business.
yeah, I don't know. I try to look at things from a biblical lens, and you know, you have to judge people by their fruit. And if all your fruit is rotten, then
Man, nobody cares. Let me fast forward a little bit. Get this lady out.
In
the damn
Franchise
thing.
County on this date at this time. This is not complicated. And again, Candace Owens is not a random person, okay? She's just not. She's not some
Okay. Who the hell is she? I'm fast forwarding a little bit.
like wants us to make allegations and
Fast forwarding. Who the hell is damn
for
girl?
either of you, but Harrison does more of reporting on what's already happened, and Candace tends to make.
Okay, this is Ian. We'll listen to Ian.
I know,
I've
but it's been,
off air for 8 days. You guys have been on InfoWars calling me a fraud, this, that, saying
Oh, who this is interesting.
No, I just got the picture, man. Like, you know, and so I think your energy is just, frankly, and I'm not.
Okay, she's arguing with somebody. Let me back up just a little bit.
Like, wants us to make allegations, and
He wants us to
I-
make a mistake, you know, more than anything else.
Well, I don't hold on.
Let's just
Why
go
would I
one step at a
want
time
you?
here, like, you know,
Why
like
would I
we're
want you to make a
investigating, like,
mistake?
I don't know
like,
if you want me to make a
you
mistake,
know.
but I know you have pressed pretty hard for I want you to make a definitive statement, and nobody's ready to make that. Actually, here's what I know. These are the things I know. I presented those to you last night, and then you came back at me with, what, so you're going to accuse me of being paid for? Which was really bizarre to me, because I felt like I was pretty patient and not accusatory at all.
Thank you, Michelle, for the $15 cash app. Thank you. Michelle says, love the show. Thank you. I appreciate that, Michelle.
Regardless, I'm not even going to go into that. But
Well, okay,
no.
I'll go into it for a second. You said that I was pretending to forget that Charlie Kirk was moving away from Israel, and I was saying the weird thing was by me saying, "Look, I don't get what this whole meeting is even supposed to be about, or why it would be suspicious, or how it connects to the assassination in any way whatsoever," and that is somehow extrapolated to be. I somehow think that the official story of Charlie Kirk's murder is true. I'm saying I don't
I
think
didn't
Well, then
say
if
that.
you don't know, Harrison, then you can just keep watching the show. Like, you're not required to, like, you know, like, if you're not sure where it's going to go, like, that's kind of the point of just like we're all kind of investigating this together. You know what I mean? We've been crowdsourcing this investigation. We have smaller pieces, and the smaller pieces become bigger pieces.
Right.
You know, do I know what it means that there are these like little flecks of what looks like there's plastic on the ground of the vehicle that Charlie was carried in after? No, it could mean somebody smashed
Y'all, who is this Harrison guy? Like, who is he? Like, I don't know who this Harrison guy is. Can y'all tell me who's this Harrison guy?
their phone. It could mean somebody smashed their sunglasses. It could be one of the theories is like, oh, look at the ADSB exploded. I don't know. You're like demanding. What is it? It's like, I don't know. I just got the picture, man. Like, you know, and so I think your energy is just, frankly, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, but like, it's a little lame, I guess is a nice way to say it. It's just pretty lame.
Oh, so he works for the Alex dude. So he works for the Alex dude, InfoWars dude. Okay.
To like try to put this like unnecessary pressure or make it seem like it's weird that we have questions about why Brian Harpole would be at an intel base if he's actually there. Like, what do you get? What do you mean? It's giving Ben Shapiro. You know, you never want to give Ben Shapiro. Just wait. You just want to wait and like see where it lands. If I start making allegations that are factually untrue, or if I don't recant something, if I go somewhere and it ends up being a dead end, then I would understand that energy. Like if like, you know, Erika did hand me her perfect alibi and I was like, well, I'm not going to say it because I just want to put it out there. But I was actually really hesitant to put Mitch on the show because I wanted, he was like 100% certain it was Erika. He was 100% certain it was Brian Harpole, you know? But I wanted to be very careful about how I went about things. And so I think that we just don't appreciate like people that actually care and are standing up to the feds right now unnecessarily being sort of tossed to the wolves by like your perspective, which is like, if you don't have a perfect narrative and it's not neat and buttoned down, then don't speak. Like, no, guys, keep speaking, keep asking questions. And if you're on this, like listening right now, you're going to get things wrong and that's okay. Just you have the courage to say you're wrong. And that's what I do. I always do that. I just say, you know what? I thought this, it's actually wrong. Let's pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, I don't know where you're getting this idea that I'm saying don't do research or anything like that. I
Well,
am confused why it's been a week of talking about this meeting and I still am not even
you guys are the ones talking about it.
it's been
I've been off air for 8 days. Like,
it's been
what kind of
3
energy is
months.
this?
I know,
Like, I've
but
been off
I
air for
know.
8 days. You guys
I
have
know.
been on InfoWars calling me a fraud, this, that, saying my husband's an MI6. Like, what do you mean? Why is this a conversation? Because you won't let it go. I had him on the show. That was it. You know, we were investigating things behind the
Harrison is extremely sassy. Yes, that's the word. Harrison is sassy as hell. Stop sitting around arguing with this damn woman, man. Damn, go on your own platform. Why are you sitting there in her space arguing with her?
scene.
I hate dudes who sit around arguing with women all goddamn day. It's so gay.
Like, you know, reaching out, like he had already reached out to people for allies before I even had him on. like, hey, this guy said this, whatever. And then all of a sudden you guys every day are obsessing over it and making up lies. Like, you guys are the reason it's big. Like, respectfully, like, this is the work of you and Alex Jones and Paramount Tactical and Baby Mamas from 2000s. Like, you guys made it a thing. You guys made
As,
fetch
as a
fetch. You know
friend
what
of
I
both
mean?
sides, can I hop in and mediate real quick with one
Yeah.
statement? Because I think that a lot of people come at this journalism from different angles because, and obviously I can't speak for either of you, but Harrison does more of reporting on what's already happened, and Candace tends to make her career out of reporting on trying to figure out what is the next end of the story. And you guys, you both stray into both lanes. But also I want to draw the distinction that Harrison has not been making all the same claims as Alex all the time. Alex is definitely a distinct voice from Harrison, and I've always really respected Harrison. I'm not saying that I actually disagree with him on this take, but I do think that this he's not the whole InfoWars crew, and the whole InfoWars crew isn't Alex Jones, and Harrison's reporting hasn't been the same as Alex this whole time.
Right.
But also, I think there might be a little bit of coming at investigations from different angles from the nature of the journalism that you guys both do.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I think we've been pretty fair. Personally, I definitely have been fair as far as like not conflating Harrison and Alex. And for like reasons I can't, because I feel like I've been pretty straightforward about why I think the Huachuca thing is important. I do think that things were happening behind Charlie's back.
Yeah.
We know that he delegated a lot. So even if you don't think like, oh, this is, and again, I actually don't think this was a like murder planning session. I actually think that personally, and I'm going to just throw it out there, I think that something happened in Korea. I think that there were weird things that happened in Korea. We do know that Pastor Son was arrested the day after Charlie leaves Korea. I think that there were some weird things that were going on. And I think that Charlie wanted to maybe step back from the role that TPUSA Faith was playing in this kind of global foreign policy, forward apparatus that his organization was being used for.
And by the
Wait, what? Tone says Ian is compromised. Why? I think Ian is very objective and he looks at both sides. See, Ian is like, he's not up there with Candace. He's kind of like where we are, just a little higher. So he kind of like has to be diplomatic and be cool with everybody because he might work at InfoWars or might do this or might do that. He probably has to probably rub elbows with these people. So I think he's just being diplomatic, and I think that's the best thing to do because you don't want to just be shitting on everybody because you might run into these people, and favors can be given and favors can be taken away.
way I can tell you guys that, like, Rob McCoy and Charlie did not love Rob McCoy. That whole speech
Right.
about him being his pastor, he had voiced his concerns about Rob McCoy. And so again, the broader consideration here is that Turning Point USA is just telling a lot of lies, and you don't tell a lot of lies. The whole world got behind Turning Point USA when Charlie got shot. Like,
everyone says he's a plant, too slick, and he came out of nowhere. I don't know much about Ian because to a certain degree, I'm just coming into this political world. Like the Diddy case and the Charlie Kirk case done pull me into this different type of world. But I've been around for like 10 years. Anybody can ask about me. I've been, in a relationship space for the last 10 years. So I didn't come out of nowhere, but somebody can assume I came out of nowhere because I'm slowly in this new space. But I ain't come out of nowhere, but I am in a new space, this political type of space. So you can say the same thing about me in a way.
there wasn't a single person who was not rooting for Turning Point USA on September 11th. Okay. And now we're at a place where it actually feels like the whole world is rooting against Turning Point USA, right? Well, the TikTokers are not liking Erika. The people online are not liking Erika. They feel like, I'm sorry, but are we going to pretend that that whole
That's
ancestry
fair,
wasn't just
Tone.
like weird?
That's
Like
cool.
we're popping up tents of like where somebody died. Like, I don't know. That's weird. And so, yeah, let's respect the public that we're recognizing something's off and we want to know what it is that is off. And Andrew Colvett is definitely off. Okay. Like he is like off the chains. There have been just way too many lies, and there would be no reason to lie when you have the whole world on your side rooting for you. Why are you lying?
Well,
And I just want to say this. For those of you that are commenting, one, if you want me to read your comment, put it in the super chat. But also, if you want me to notice your comment and you don't want to put in super chat, you could become a member like Girl Friday on Tuesday, because I'm able to easily see her comments because she's a member and her name shows up in green. So if you want me to notice your comments a little often, every time you comment, become a member of the channel, and then your membership badge would show up and your name will show up in green letters like Girl Friday on Tuesday. Or put in the super chat, one or two, if you want me to read or notice your comment as I'm live. You can do one of two of those different things. Shout out to Girl Friday on Tuesday. I see her comments all the time because she's a member.
since you mentioned Andrew Colvett, Candace, if I may jump in,
Sure.
you know, and to address Harrison,
And somebody can gift others memberships if y'all want to. That's a thing also. You can gift other people in the chat memberships if you like them. Like if you like somebody in the chat, you can just gift them a membership and then they'll show up like Girl Friday on Tuesday shows up in the chat.
and one of the things that I remember that I keep in mind throughout this entire investigation is, in an investigation, details matter, but you don't know what details matter until you investigate them.
Right.
And you know, when this, and as an outside observer on this particular story, the Fort Huachuca story, all of a sudden I've been airdropped this detail that one of the top members of Charlie Kirk's security detail is at an Army intelligence base the day before Charlie's assassinated. Now, that's a detail. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it means anything.
Thank you, Dawn, for becoming a member. Thank you.
I don't know if it's important or not important, but that's a detail. That is a definite detail, because
Right.
Brian Harpole's job is to protect Charlie Kirk.
Right.
That's his job. That's his job as one of the top members of this security detail, is to protect.
First of all, he's not a top member of nothing because he didn't do his job because Charlie Kirk is dead. So one, he didn't do his job that well. Two, I think he's also an idiot because he got on that other podcast lying, sounding like an idiot. And then three, he didn't do his job because Charlie Kirk is dead. So he's not a top nothing. He's a bottom something.
Charlie Kirk, who the next day was assassinated. So, like, this is an important detail. What is one of the top members of the security detail doing?
He was a bottom member of Charlie's security detail because they didn't do their job. Thank you, Luis, for becoming a member.
At an Army intelligence base the day before. It might not mean anything, but maybe it means something. What does it mean? I don't know. I have to investigate it. Now, how does Andrew Colvett come into this? I'm reminded of the fact that he told you, Candace, that you and Tucker were.
So now y'all see how Luis is showing up in the chat green, and I can see their name. You see how Dawn and Brown Sugar is showing up in the chat, and their names are in different colors. So when you become a member, your name shows up differently in the chat, and I notice it faster, and I'm reading your comment more often than I'm reading other people's comments because of the color of your name.
Or on some list and possibly in danger. Well, so now I'm thinking in my mind, well, maybe he was at some sort of security briefing. Maybe they had some intel that people were in danger. Maybe that's what he was doing there. Like, I don't know. But
Right.
Yes, I can see your comment, Cricky 6979. Yes,
it has to be
because it's showing up in green because you're a member.
investigated. It has to be sussed out. It could mean something. It might not mean anything. But just to address Harrison, and I like Harrison. Harrison's been good to me. No problem with him there. So that's what I'm just from my own perspective as an outside observer, I've been airdropped this story, this detail, which has now mushroomed. It's like a big mushroom cloud now for several days. It's run wild, people on all sides fighting over it. It's become a thing. And now I have to grapple with this thing. Does it mean anything? Does it not mean anything? How can I verify it? And
Louise said it's not expensive to join. Yeah, everybody just become a member, and then I'll be able to see all y'all's comments. Just join real quick, y'all. Everybody join, everybody become a member real quick. Or somebody can gift memberships to other people. There's a member gifting also.
And I'm at the mercy of
Willie Lowe says, I need a wrench. I don't know you, Willie. I don't recognize you, Willie. I don't just give wrenches to anybody because they have the ability to block people from my channel or whatever. So I don't just give everybody a wrench. You become a member though.
Mitch's recollection. I'm at the
thank you, Brown Sugar, for becoming a member. Thank you.
Mercy of the TPUSA folks, Erika, Cabot, and Brian Harpole. And I'm faced with a situation now where they've turned it into something bigger than it needed to be, if indeed it is nothing. If it's nothing, all they had to do was debunk it. And not only that, but like they could have like slam dunked the ball in your face, Candace, and made you look silly and stupid. And they left that money on the table. And for the people,
I just want to show this. This is just funny. I just wanted to show this, y'all. This is what we're doing. This is the process right here. Let's get back to it. You know, hold on. Let me play this a little bit, and I'm gonna come back to the Candace stuff.
There are a lot of people out there claiming you had something to do with your husband being unalived. Do you have anything to say to them? Stop. Okay. That was kind of weird. These are pretty bold claims they're making. I was wondering if you had something more to say.
Stop.
Okay. You're kind of making a weird face. I just want to make sure you don't want any harm to come to those defaming you or to the person that unalived your husband, right? Correct. I forgive him. But what about Candace Owens?
Candace will be smited. Do not mistake God's silence for approval. The Lord sees every betrayal carried out in secret and every cruelty justified by pride. Those who believe they have escaped the consequences because they prosper on social media misunderstand the nature of divine justice. God allows the wicked to move only so their choices may be fully testified against them. When judgment comes, it comes precise and unavoidable. No power and no reputation can shield a guilty soul from a just God who weighs the hearts of people and not the amount of fame they acquired.
That's all.
All right, let's get back to it. Freaking Erika is crazy.
I'm not going to they don't need to dignify this. They already dignified this by giving half-assed non-debunking debunkings.
So Criggy6979 says, how do I give a membership? I don't know. I just know you can gift the membership. I'll look into it. Give me a second. I'll figure out, how do you gift the membership? I know you can, but I'll figure out how to do it in a second.
I didn't ask them to do that. They did that. They made this more important and relevant than it needed to be. I didn't ask for them to do that. So now, as an outside observer, I have to grapple with like, okay, you made it bigger than it had to be. Like, what does that mean? I don't know if it means anything, but now it's a thing. Now it's a thing that I have to deal with.
That is how everyone feels. Like, you are voicing exactly how everybody feels. We didn't know what it was going to lead to, and I was like, I mean, I couldn't have been more deferential in saying that.
All right, Tone, I seen your DM. How do I do that? Because somebody just said, how do I give the membership? And then you're saying I can give out free memberships. How do I do that? I'll look around and see though. That's interesting.
This could literally lead to nothing, but like, because of this weird prayer and the way it came in, I think that we should follow it. The reaction has now made this feel so crucial. And it, again, why you do not need to wheel and deal behind the scenes, Andrew Colvat. And if Erika, as she did, is going to hand me Brian Harpole's alibi, then they care to clarify it, right? If you care to clarify his alibi, then get the rest of his alibi, right? What is the halfway? What is the halfway? Here's his flights for the evening or the late afternoon, but we don't know about 7:30. And I did ask that question, by the way. That just reminds me, I asked that to Turning Point.
So all right, I'm gonna go a little farther. Let's
Seen
see.
that last week or whatever, like to see people like Ben Shapiro get on stage and pretend they were his
I think this is about it.
friends. Like,
Zero convictions. All of the
yeah,
people saying that he was a fraudster, that he was an abuser, whatever. I couldn't find one record, criminal record,
there was
of
no
him being
conviction.
convicted.
Yeah,
Is that true?
yeah,
You
yeah.
do,
I
right?
couldn't find it either. It was
Yeah. So the person that's looking to gift a membership, go to the $ button. And then when you go to the $ button, there'll be an option for you to gift the memberships. Thank you so much for saying that.
they were showing no convictions. It was he said, she said. I mean, just like full character assassination.
A
And like,
one-sided divorce court that he
yeah,
didn't get to tell his piece in.
it
Isn't
was
that
very Me
interesting?
Too.
So this is what y'all do real quick. For those who are wondering, go to the $. You know, the way you say you want to post a super chat, right? You have hit the $, you know, in your chat right now. If you're in the chat, you'll see the $. Hit the $. You'll have an option for super stickers, super chat, join a membership, or membership gifting. So you have 4 different options. So everybody right now, hit the $, and you'll see the options come up, and then you can gift people memberships, or you can make yourself a member yourself. That's how you do it. Thank you for somebody telling me that, because I ain't even know myself.
It was very Me Too. I'm sorry to say it. And like when grown men are doing the Me Too shit, I just have no energy for it. I'm just like, all right, guys, like, cool, thumbs up. Like, I'm glad you found like his classmates in middle school or
Yeah, thank you, Tone.
whatever. But like, could you use some of that male energy towards actually, like, if you think he's all of these things, the best thing to do would be like help us prove that he's lying on the thing that we care about, which is the Charlie Kirk assassination, you know? And no one has thus far done that. And he has not changed his story. So I am inclined to follow this, especially because we now know that Erika and Andrew Colbert and Brian Harpole do care enough to offer up, you know, some parsed alibis.
Thank you so much, Joe Say Bob. Appreciate you. Gifted 1 membership.
Of sorts.
But they didn't offer up. They didn't.
And Serene 413 received the membership.
Didn't refute being there. I think is a very important point. Not one of the people, including Congressman Amidei, with his statement, actually directly said, "I was not in Arizona or at Fort Huachuca at this time on this
made
day."
it work.
Not a single one of them have denied it.
Yeah, and I did. I don't know if you were on earlier when I said that, like, when Mitch first contacted me, he never said Mark Amidei. He gave a description of the man, and he said it was a congressman. And then I gave him, you know, faces, and he was like, "This looks like the guy, like Mark Amidei." I think Mark Amidei is the only one that at least attempted to give
Thank you,
an
Willie.
actual time frame that was relevant, and he gave the footage. And I do think it kind of looks like him. It's not definitive, but like it does kind of look like him that's sitting in the chair when someone gave me the time point. So I do want to be at least like he gave us something, you know what I mean? But regarding the 2 people that he contacted me about, Brian Harpole and Erika, I
don't know what's going on, Cricky. If you can't give memberships, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea.
I find it strange that they went behind
But thank you for your effort.
the scenes when they had a direct communication with me. Like, if you care enough, why wouldn't you just text me and I
Yeah, Brown Sugar said refresh your screen and to see if you are the lucky individual who received the gift membership. Oh, no, I would say to Cricky, make sure to refresh your screen and then see if you can gift memberships. And try it that way.
could shut it down immediately? Like, I don't
We just lost your sound.
Serene just gifted a membership to somebody else. I love it. Lisa just got the membership. I love it. I love this. What's going on? I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm still trying to understand like what Andrew Colbert is doing. I don't understand it. I don't understand what Andrew Colbert is doing. I really don't.
Well, obviously they care about the public perception of what's going on here, or they wouldn't give these half-hearted third-party alibis that don't really stand up under scrutiny right? Because they do care about the perception. And the argument is, well, they don't owe you any answers. They don't owe you any answers. That's right. They don't owe us any answers. But also, they can deserve the scrutiny they get in return for not giving those answers, right? The suspicion that comes with that's part of not giving those answers. So it's a two-way exchange. Go ahead, Harrison. I see you trying to go ahead.
I totally agree with you on that. I do want to, let me add
L Design, I just
speaker. We
made you
can
a
do about like
moderator.
10
I
more
don't even know
minutes
why
here.
you weren't a
So
moderator.
I think that we have covered all of the main points. And I think now everyone understands why this Fort Huachuca story suddenly matters, even though it was definitely not a focal point of this investigation. I do think that there is something here. I will tell you that, like, if I was to bet on it when I first had Mitch on the show, I was at 50-50 on whether or not he saw who he said he saw. Brian and Erika in particular, and Cabot Phillips as a third, which he felt, I think when I asked him a percentage on Cabot Phillips, he was like 90% sure or something. Now, like, I would probably put it at a lot higher, just based on the public reaction. It doesn't make sense to me, and Andrew Colbert is what tips me over the edge, I think. It makes no sense for him to go behind the scenes when he could just texted me and said, hey, I heard you covered this. Just wanted to give you this. Here's where Erika was, and so you could update people. That doesn't make sense to me. And I've heard that they are spending a lot of money on an anti-marketing campaign, if you will. I am trying to get receipts on that.
An anti-Candace campaign. Who is doing this? Y'all heard that, right? They're working on an anti-Candace campaign. Oh my God. They about to try to get Candace kicked off of YouTube. I'm so sick of these damn people. See, this is what happens, y'all. Sometimes you can get too close to the sun, and next thing you know, they start forming Voltron against you and can turn around and get you kicked off of YouTube. God damn it.
We said he saw. Brian and Erika in particular, and Cabot Phillips as a third, which he felt, I think when I asked him a percentage on Cabot Phillips, he was like 90% sure or something. Now, like, I would probably put it at a lot higher, just based on the public reaction. It doesn't make sense to me, and Andrew Colbert is what tips me over the edge, I think. It makes no sense for him to go behind the scenes when he could just texted me and said, hey, I heard you covered this. Right. Just wanted to give you this. Here's where Erika was, and so you could update people. That doesn't make sense to me. And I've heard that they are spending a lot of money on an anti-marketing campaign, if you will.
Man, I hate that, man. I hate these damn people. Real quick, y'all. I need everybody to say, I stand with Candace in the chat. Everybody in the chat say, I stand with Candace in the chat. We got to make sure we keep up her name in the algorithm. We need to keep supporting her, to let her know that we support her over here. Everybody in the chat say, I stand with Candace in the comments. We got to hold her down. Y'all heard that? They're trying to spend millions of dollars or whatever amount of dollars to put together a flagging campaign for her channel. That's some bull crap, man. Everybody type, I stand with Candace in the comments.
Trying to get receipts on that to see if that's true. And if that does pan out to be true, then I think we have our answer. I just added you, Suleiman. Did you want to say anything, or did you just want to listen?
Yeah, I did want to say something. Hopefully my mic is working. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Because I'm just in an Uber. Oh, brilliant. I guess my question is this, that when it comes to, by the way, I first of all appreciate the work you're doing. And also, I think one of my friends is on your team. But that being said, one of the questions I have is, in terms of Huachuca, how does someone prove the negative? And what I mean by that is, I can't always prove where I am at all times. So, for example, how do you prove that you're not somewhere if you don't somehow have some kind of photograph you take on the day? Like, how will they be able to disprove where they were? And the reason I ask that is because you can ask that about anyone. For example, Sam, I don't know where Sam was when Charlie Kirk got assassinated. So will he be able to prove it or not? We just don't know. So I guess the question is, how do you prove the negative?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is like, just answer, right? Hey, I was not here. That would be like a nice, strong start. I'm Brian Harpole, and I was definitively not there. The second thing is you would just be so surprised at how much your phone has. if you were there, then Brian Harpole would have had to have taken a flight to Fort Huachuca relatively early on the 8th or early on the 9th. I mean, he could, if he's awake at that time, this is supposed to be like a guy who's doing security. He's got to be up early. How quickly before you roll over in bed and text somebody about something, like whether it's like breakfast, whatever it is, you're texting, and that is creating a timeline of everything you're doing all day. Like if you asked me what I was doing today between, I don't know, 4 and 6, I could look through my phone and see who I was texting at that time, and we'd be texting about something relevant to what we were doing or where we were about to.
Love you too, Gene. I'm saying, Jeanette.
So many ways that I think you could show what you were doing. But I think the first thing would be just to answer. Like, it's a pretty straightforward, like, I don't see the upside in Cabot Phillips not answering. There's been so much innuendo about him. People are talking about like his pizza tattoo, like, I don't think the energy of Ben Shapiro, I've been wondering what that's about. And so like when I saw it, like when he said Cabot Phillips, I was like, whoa, that I did not expect that turn. Because I had sent him so many people that like in Turning Point that I thought could have fit the description. Like maybe it was someone on the security team, and he was like, no. And then,
and remember, Cabot Phillips is actually Erika Kirk's ex-boyfriend. This broad hired her ex-boyfriend. Her husband started his company, and this broad hired her ex-boyfriend to be a part of the damn company. And now this man is about to be the next next Charlie Kirk. This woman is trash. Erika, not Candace. Erika is trash.
With no context, he was like, Cabot Phillips was the guy. And I don't know. I find that to be interesting that he was off. Now Cabot could just very easily just be like, I was on vacation. Like that's 7 days, right? I mean, he was off air from the 4th until the 11th. And hey, he's got the wrong guy, wrong memory. And I'd be like, okay, cool. But that's a long time, right? That's a very long time that he could send us something or anything. So, I think there's a million ways, but it would start with just denying it, like it would be very simple, especially because it's gotten so big. And I want to be able to do that for them. I want to debunk it. I want it to be off of people's minds. Like if Cabot was just like with his family on vacation in Scotland, I want to be like, hey guys, like Mitch we're looking for someone that looks like Cabot. You know what I mean? And so we can focus somewhere else. Or Erika has airtight, here's where she was, this is what she was doing. And there really are just like, there's just another blonde who was on the base that day.
No, Erika's not human. I don't think she's human. I think she is, I'm just joking. Of course she's human, but she doesn't act human. Put it like that. She doesn't act human.
I think that would make a lot of people feel good if they just did that.
And Candace, if they hadn't already weighed in, that would be one thing, right?
So it makes sense what you're saying in terms of if you were to provide a text, what you're proving is that you texted someone. But or they're not going to give you evidence that they took a flight to Fort Huachuca. So I guess because if they did it or they didn't do it, they wouldn't provide it either way.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason I'm asking the question is,
all right. I'm sick of them. Let's move on. I am sick of them.
Been married before Charlie Kirk and.
All right, so let's get into this.
Sounds like Erika Kirk might have been married before Charlie Kirk and tried to scrub it from the internet. Take a listen to what Auntie Colette from TikTok has to say.
We all know who Erika Kirk is. Oh, silly me, I almost forgot. First things first, Tiki Talk, you know me, this is purely for entertainment purposes only. All things stated here, just no speculation. We're just thinking out loud. I got a new bikini goofing. Baby, let's go. Nothing here is actual or factual. Everything stated, allegedly. And we all know who Erika Franzway is. Erika Franzway was her name when she was born, and Erika Kirk was her name after she was married to Charlie in 2020. And so who in the heck is Erika Chelsvig? You might wonder, you might ask, or you may have no idea who I'm talking about. And you may have a very difficult time finding any information about this woman, Erika Chelsvig, but not me. You see, I have this funny way. It's just who I am, and it's just who I've always been. All grace and glory be to Yah.
Yeah, Charlie probably was blank behind closed doors, the epic of Raw. Yeah, I can see that.
But Erika Chelsvig is a name that I learned only 2 days after Charlie Kirk's funeral, after being awoken at 2:30 in the morning. Still a large, huge Erika Kirk fan. At least I had been. Interesting how things like this work. You see, I'm the kind of person that finds the truth out about the world that the world does not yet know. Long before the world is ready, and I'm still the same person that has to share that truth, even when that truth is hard for me. Interesting how the Holy Spirit woke me up at that time, 2 days after Charlie's funeral, with no intention of discovering anything new about Erika Kirk, and all I discovered was stuff that was new. And now stuff that has been scrubbed from the internet, officially scrubbed from the internet the very next day. But oopsie poopsie, not before Auntie discovered it, learned it, and kept it all. And although I'm on vacation, trust and believe, the world will learn who Erika Chelsvig is, just not by a Google search. So who is Erika Chelsvig, Auntie? Well, let's go back. Erika Franzve, like I said, was her name, her maiden name. Erika Kirk was her name after she married Charlie. And Erika Chelsvig was her name in between, in betwixt, after and before. Chelsvig, it's got a ring to it, doesn't it?
So she's saying her name was Erika Chelsvig at some point.
It should, because that name is Romanian. Romanian. Now, what are the odds of that? This world is an evil place. Not everything is always what it seems. But like we're seeing day by day and speech by speech and word by word, Erika Kirk, Franzve, Chelsvig, formerly, is accidentally spilling the beans, one by one by one. What is done in the dark will always come to light. And I always know that the truth is truth when that kind of truth needs to be scrubbed from the internet. I mean, why else would it be unless you had something to hide? I don't know, like something similar to this. Eric?
All right, so let's see if we can read this. It says, Erika Kirk, Nee Franzve, formerly Chelsvig. Okay. Erika Lane Kirk, born Erika Lane Franzve on November 20th, 1988 in Scottsdale, Arizona, is an American businesswoman, podcaster, blah, 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 blah. Raised in Catholic household. My parents, Kent and Lori Franzve. She developed an early interest in community service, volunteering, and of course, trafficking, of course, soup kitchens, blah, 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 volleyball, blah, 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 blah. This ain't saying nothing. What does it have to do anything? Maybe just the name? I thought she was going to say something.
Kirk, named Franzve, formerly Chelsvig.
Yeah, orphans.
I'm on vacation, so screenshot and read the rest. Interesting. What used to be on the internet, and just days after Charlie's funeral, well, we find no longer. 'Tis not on the internet no more. But when the Holy Spirit speaks, you listen and you screenshot, and the truth will always come to light.
Candace Owens put out today that she is off air this week and provided the update that both the White House and our counterterrorism agency have confirmed receipt of what she reported publicly, that Emmanuel Macron attempted to organize her assassination per a source close to the first couple. She also stated again that the French legionnaires were involved in the Charlie Kirk assassination, but they did not act alone. And then writes that for all of those who doubted her claims, you can now go and look to the President of the United States and our intelligence communities to issue a statement and confirm whether I am telling the truth. This was her last post on X, and in the one right before that, she wrote that we cannot live in a world where governments collude to protect Jeffrey Epstein and to murder Charlie Kirk. This doesn't work.
So that's all I got today, y'all. I'm going to play the... Where is it? Here it is. I'm going to play the Everybody Loves to Hate Candace song, and we're going to get up out of here.
Is a evil scumbag. She's a fucking...
As we all know, Candace Owens is spinning a lot of suggestions. We can't keep spinning.
Tell it to her face. If you can see it in your eyes every time you speak, all I hear is 100,000 shot I need. Every time you spend a crook, I see y'all now. We just dance. If you got everybody wanna hate Candace, everybody wanna hate Candace.
For 4.5, she's betrayed us.
All right, here we go.
They wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace.
betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened? Well, Erika said stop, and then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like.
Everybody wanna hate Candace. 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 If you got something to say, tell it to her face. If you got something to say, tell it to her face. All this is fake and gay, and you know it. I got all the evidence, I'm about to show it. You projecting all your guilt out on us and Candace. We just trying to solve the case, I don't understand it. Are things not turning out how you planned it? We can see it in your eyes and your body language. I see all the threats that you keep sending me, but underneath the jail is where you finna be. Your band of crooked pastors in the pulpit. Every time you speak, all I hear is bullshit. Tell the truth about Charlie Kirk instead of telling me to stop. All I wanna know is which guy took the shot. I need an answer to a question only you would know. Was Charlie Kirk's life a reenactment of the Truman Show? Truman Show, Truman Show. 100,000 of us on your head top. Please stop trying to feed us all this fed slop. Your grieving widow book tour, we ain't listening to it. And free Tyler Robinson, cause you know he didn't do it. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What?
It feels a little fake and gay. Gotta tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay, and there will be no fakeness and no gayness. It was like one big character assassination, and it wasn't to me. That's what you guys don't understand. You're not attacking me. You are attacking millions of people